Right, there we go, we're recording.
Righto. So, does everyone have the Roll20 link?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It took a little while to load up, but it's there now.
Oh man, I've got to say the little like table things they've done for like the rolls and whatever. Because I see the sample rolls you've done look pretty funky.
Yeah, and the functionality on the sheets is next level. Like the sheets are very handy. You can add stuff as well, like custom, whatever. You can add clocks, progress clocks, directly on your sheet.
Nice.
And it's all like you just click on the segments and it fills, and you can name it. And I'm just blown away.
I've got to admit, if I had to pick like out of the recent sort of Power of the Apocalypse games we've done, like my favourite sort of Revelation style mechanic to me, which sounds a bit ridiculous because it's Revelation for a mechanic, but it would be progress clocks. Because it's such a simple and like elegant solution of like, yeah, you make a roll, it ticks off so many ticks. When it's full, whatever that is complete. I love it. It's dead simple, does what it needs to do, not complicated. Happy days.
And of course, with these games that we're playing, which now is Blades in the Scum villain.
That's it. Villainy in the Band of Dog.
Yes, Band of Blades is what I meant to say. I will get that
Scum
wrong.
of the Blades.
Yeah, Blade Scum. that's it. No, all these games with the progress clocks, it's directly interfacing all these like random clocks you might come up with, whatever they might be at any point in time. It all interfaces seamlessly with the actual standard stuff in the game, which is brilliant.
I've got to admit as well, it seems to be a mechanic that seems to take great advantage of the fact that there's lots of games going on online. Because I'm not saying it's impossible to like track a progress clock by like writing it on an index card or whatever, because of course you could do, but when you've got something like your Roll20 or your virtual tabletop and you can just have like a little graphic in the background, it seems to be it's nice to see a game that takes advantage of the sort of like the newer formats rather than just sort of like taking an old game and sort of like gaffer taping it into the sort of new format, if you see what I mean.
Well, it's essentially just a progress bar done in a clock form. It's just a visual trick, but it's good. I like it.
But I do like games when they have like a bit of a visual element to them, because obviously we know like you can play like games with fairly minimal character sheets and minimal numbers on them and stuff like that, but most people are sort of fairly visual creatures. So it's like, I mean, that's why even like in the digital age we still have like analog like watches and stuff like that, because that's sort of almost like how we're taught to sort of recognise things visually, a lot of us. So it's nice just to have it there. I can look at it and go, oh, the clock's half full, that means I'm halfway to doing my goal, rather than just sort of going, oh yes, I've got 5 out of 10 in whatever.
Yeah, I'm 40% of the way there.
It's like why you don't Roll20, you have like your tokens with like your health bars and stuff like that on them, because again it's a visual thing rather than just an abstract, oh, I've got 10 hit points
I'm
left
looking
or
through
whatever.
the sheets now. They really do embrace the clocks on these ones.
Yeah. So, feel free to comb through those. I'm just looking for there's a sort of laid out how to start the game thing. A lot of this
Shall
will
we
be...
begin?
Yeah. It has begun.
I was going to say, I should probably explain to anyone who's listening to this that we've sort of wrapped up the first chapter of the Scum and Villainy game that Johannes was kindly running for us, which is on the YouTube channel. We're now going to do another Forged in the Dark game, Band of Blades, which is like a sort of military fantasy style game. So this recording is basically us doing like the session 0 bit and chatting a bit about the game and prepping and stuff like that.
It's like session 0, but also the intro, because you play through a scenario.
Yeah, there might be some gameplay. Like
Yep.
We'll see if we get enough rants in to edge that out or not. Let's see.
Don't tempt me.
Okay, just going through.
Man, these sheets do look amazing.
Yeah. Also, let it be said that Band of Blades is one of those games that I think we should have more of this in games in general. Let me revise that statement. That explain things a lot. So when they say a thing, they will have in italics below it, even just like entire pages almost full of like, how does that work? Like, what does this thing mean?
And that's a good thing, man, because you get so many books where like they'll quote something, and then you don't actually get the explanation for like to like a later chapter. And by the time you've sort of got to the explanation, you sort of then have to flick back to remind yourself what it was in the first place, or you end up jumping around in the book. It's nice to see things like, here's this, and here's what it means in the same place.
Yeah, because if you say, when you use sway, it's you're being charming or whatever, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's the sort of like general lingo that we all have in our heads from having played role-playing games, but then it breaks it in, like, so what does that mean in this particular instance? Like, what does that actually mean?
I was just going to say, I'm guessing we've lost Matthew either, or what I've said has just like pained him so intensely that he's been like that for like 5 minutes.
No, the internet demons got to him.
Yeah.
And there he is.
There he is, look. Cheeky chappy. Oh, he's got to go.
Oh, he's gone.
Did you manage to get into the Roll20 link all right, love?
Yep. I'm looking at the officer. Because that's the one I clicked on.
I'm looking at the scout.
That would track, Hannah. That's... also, well, was that Matthew coming in?
No, that was Matthew who's dropping out, like his video. Like... Oh.
Typical.
Oh.
Absolutely typical.
Oh.
Oh, here we
Is he
go.
back? Is he back?
Did you apply? Yeah.
I was
I
going
was
to
trying
say,
to make a point, and the internet was like, nah, mate, get off the street.
if it's any consolation, Matthew, I did get some amusement about the fact the first time you sort of like went, it froze with you like this. And I was like, either Matthew's dropping out or like what I've just said to like really pained him.
Really
and then the
upsetting.
second time it froze and you're like...
Yep, mid-conversation. What I was trying to say is I enjoyed the fact that the book is a nice overview, like at the beginning, a nice clean just overview of everything, and then goes into each part in more detail with examples as you go through the book.
Yep.
Sometimes people forget that that's really helpful if you're trying to learn.
True that.
I do like these sheets. I would say one thing that I wish they'd done though. I wish they'd highlighted each of the specialists' special ability, like was slightly highlighted or different, just so you know that like that's their shtick.
Yeah, which one is which? Like which one is the thing for that particular? Yeah, I guess, but
because that's their standout feature, and that's the thing you need to think. When should I use that? Because it's like a once a mission type deal, if I recall.
Yeah, you get used as you don't roll the well, we'll get all into all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, kudos to whoever made the sheets. I don't think I have their name at the ready now, but whoever did
they're
this,
official. I think they're from actually the publisher.
Yeah, but presumably, like there was a person.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like it's not like
some poor soul sat there and worked out how to make this look cool. Props to them.
Okay, so let's close that. Also, as you're looking at the sheets, don't worry about being interested in the same ones as far as the Legionnaires go, because that doesn't matter. Like you can have multiples.
Oh, we'll be playing all kinds of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole bunch of people that we have in our game here.
I think I don't want to jump ahead, but I think I finally decided which of the roles I want to play on the campaign level. If I get that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
We were talking before, so I was like, I don't know which one I want to do.
This is one of those things that you've been looking at a book for a role-playing game book, and you know all the stuff that's in there, but you don't yet have the exact memory of where in there it is. And I'm doing that thing now where it's like, I've looked at this thing for
Where is it?
a lot of time, but I cannot find it.
Well, I'll tell you what. How about to get us all in the mood? I'll read the brief description off the back in my best sort of dramatic,
Okay.
like
Okay,
fantasy
yeah,
film voice.
I'm just going to loosen my pants slightly, John.
Okay, so here we go. The Legion is in retreat following a failed battle against the armies of the undead. You are a member of the Legion, your bonds to one another forged in the dark by bone and blood. But time is running out as more fall to the indomitable forces of the Cinder King. As legionaries, you must make it to Skydagger Keep before you're cut off or overtaken by the undead. Paying horrifying costs, you'll employ offences, manoeuvres, unwise bargains, and desperate gambits as the ever-ticking clock nears its final hour. Do you have what it takes to outwit, outrun, and outlast the endless hordes of the undead? Or will your band of blades break beneath the Cinder King's iron fist? Play to find out in Band of Blades, a standalone Forged in the Dark RPG of dark military fantasy.
This summer.
Coming to a
Next year,
cinema
been
near
postponed.
you.
This summer, one soldier cannot change fuck all because the Cinder King don't care.
Don't give no fuck.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was going to ask you a question, Johannes, but I found the answer myself. These sheets really do have everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, here I think did I find it? Is this it? Oh. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm thereabouts, if nothing else. Okay. So for anyone looking for sort of reference material for this, so again, we're playing Band of Blades, which John has just read the ad copy of the back of, and the number one sort of reference for this, what this game is and what it's being influenced by, is The Black Company by Glenn Cook. If you want to get the feel for this kind of thing, go and read that. It's a pretty damn good book.
I've got to admit, I've never actually read it, but I mean, having
Me
not
neither.
looked at this, I might give it a read. 'Cause I've heard people recommend it numerous times before.
Yeah. To highlight just how deep the influence is, The Black Company is about a mercenary group that hires itself out, and they have these distinct roles in the Legion, and they do missions. There's some very distinct good and bad guys in the fiction of the thing, and it has so for Band of Blades we have these undead lieutenant type figures. There's all that stuff is in there as well, and the Black Company book is told from it's a viewpoint book from the person who keeps the chronicles of the Black Company. So the guy that records everything that the Legion does, and it's told from basically you're reading the chronicle book.
A lawkeeper.
So you get like the in-character voice of the person writing it. Like this happened today. That was bad for these reasons, and I don't think X, Y, and Z. It's quite enjoyable, I found, and it's a whole series as well. Like if you get into it, there's a lot of books you could go and read. I think a dozen or so, maybe. Even. I think he might still be going, actually.
Cool.
But, yeah. So anyway, but Band of Blades. Okay, so we are going to start with, well, first of all, let's talk about expectations here. So we're all, well, I'm not, because I'm going to be playing the world.
You are the Cinder King.
and the peasants as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What kind of thing we're interested in exploring this? The concept is that the armies of the kingdoms of the East, which have come to the West to confront this Cinder King, there was a climactic battle, and the Cinder King's forces just destroyed the armies of the East that had come over here to do battle, and we're starting from the fallout of that. Humanity's greatest strength has been absolutely destroyed in this part of the world, and our story concerns the ragged remnants of the Legion that are fighting, are doing a fighting retreat to this mountain stronghold, to winter there basically, and then send word to the eastern kingdoms, like and hold the undead at the mountain. So, what kind of things in relation to that are we interested in exploring? What kinds of horror? What are we cool with as far as content goes?
Well, I was just going to say that one of the things that this reminds me of, and being like a big sort of Babylon 5 fan, is like there's one of this. They always do the bit at the start of the series where they're like, "Oh, this space station was our last best hope for peace," and like, and later on, it's like it failed, and you see like all the walls
and then
destroying it.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, they're sort of trying to salvage what they can and sort of make something out of that situation." Obviously, I know they're different genres, but this reminded me very much of that. Oh, we went out in our proud armies. We were like, "Yeah, we're going to like kick the Cinder King's ass." And now we're like, oh shit, it's failed. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah, it's failed, and we just handed the Cinder King a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
And we know what happens when you do that to a necromancer. So, so are we all familiar with sort of zombie cinema, zombie serials, comics, that kind of thing? So
Or is good.
Yeah, so the baseline is there's going to like almost there's living people there as well working for the Cinder King, which like those are some interesting folks, but there's most of the enemy is going to be the reanimated dead. Now there's all kinds of those which we'll get into. We can make some choices in like what kind of things we're going to encounter, but baseline is it's going to be a lot of undead coming in different varieties and different sort of thematic tropey styles as well. And so if we're all good with, let's say, baseline zombie movie, I think we're probably good for pretty much everything that the game is going to throw us content-wise, in that we recognize that there's probably going to be some blood and guts before we're done.
Well, I think it's military fantasy, isn't it? It's a fairly safe for some, even without the zombie element, it's fairly safe. Mm-hmm. It's that whole like war is hell sort of thing, isn't it? Yep. It's fairly safe to say there's going to be sort of scenes of violence and unpleasantness because it's the aftermath of a war. And then, like you say, you put zombies on top of it.
Yeah, and the enemy is like just completely inhumane. Yeah, like they have no concerns about human morality at all. So
yeah, humanity, they gave that up.
Yeah, that's what happens when you die.
Opted out.
Yeah. Even if, like I said, some of them do live, which that's a commentary on those people. But we'll see how we deal with those kinds of people when we meet them in game. So then we can talk about our version of the Legion, because we will be embodying all of that. Mm-hmm. Are they out for themselves? We know that it's like a legendary mercenary company, like wanted, highly valued, legendary group of people who have a glorious history in battle. Now they are mercenaries, so are they out for themselves, or did they have humanity's best interest at heart, or has that changed from one to the other now that shit's going downhill? What do you guys feel about that?
I think it would be nice to play people who aren't just in it for themselves. Yeah, because whilst I'm not saying you couldn't have interesting stories doing that, I think it'd be nice. I mean, like I say, I'm just sort of spitballing because I don't know the exact sort of parameters of it, but it'd be nice, if we were thinking of, we need to do this retreat, but maybe if we retreat, maybe we can do something else and we can turn it around, because obviously a lot of it's going to be fairly sort of dark and grim. It'd be nice if we could have like a bit of optimism in there, or maybe if we can get to Sky Dagger Keep, we can like marshal like a resistance or something like that, even if it eventually turns out not to be possible. rather than us just being like, oh shit, we've got to like leg it and like look after ourselves. And
I think from my perspective,
Yeah, we need some hope of some sort.
exactly.
Yeah.
Can't be
There's
just totally bleak. There should be like a certain amount of realism, but I think maybe a sense of honor that they don't want the lives that have been lost to be in vain, and
Mhm.
they believe that for everyone, it's best if the Syndicate is stopped, and the
Yeah.
best chance of that is uniting with other people.
I agree with that. I mean, I think obviously whenever there's any sort of like tragedy or sort of like loss in war or anything like that, people always try and console themselves with the fact that, you know, maybe some change can be affected by it. Maybe things can be better in the future. You know, you sort of cling to that hope, don't you?
You can learn from it, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you sort of like as Matthew was saying, you don't want all that horribleness that happened to be in vain, really. And I think it'd be nice to sort of have a bit of that feeling in it.
Then you get the only people who've survived are the worst kinds of people,
Yeah,
because they've done horrible things to keep alive.
yeah. I mean that might be the case, but I think it is human nature to try and sort of to try and make some sense out of things like this, and you know, try and find. You've got to find something to keep yourself going. I mean, mere survival at the start's all right, because you're like, oh, well, we just need to get out of this mess and like survive. But I think once you've got beyond that initial stage, you need to have something else to sort of keep you putting one foot in front of the other and keep going. Rather, because otherwise, I think once you got to like Skydagger Keep, it'd just be like, and I know that's the end of the game if you make it Skydagger Keep.
It's not really a spoiler, is it? It's
Yeah,
the
but
end point.
obviously, sort of that's the game. Obviously, if from an IC point of view, the world doesn't end if you reach Skydagger Keep. So I think it'd be nice to have some sort of sense of like, oh, you know, if we make it there, maybe we can like marshal whatever people we've got left, or get reinforcements, or maybe we can do something about it, or even if like warning other lands so they're better prepared. You know, like Matthew was saying and Hannah was saying, just something that's like a faint sort of glimmer of hope in like all the darkness that's the rest of the setting.
Yeah.
I think where the interesting thing is, though, is the methods we use in the game and how the people change as we go through the game. That's where the interesting thing is. Like, what are they prepared to do to try and meet this mess? Like, how far are they prepared to go to survive? Will they lose their honor in the process? Will they become worse than the creatures that they're chasing them?
Well, at the risk of stereotyping ourselves horribly based on like our previous Scum and Villainy game, I'm going to say that me and yourself are going to be extremely pragmatic, almost to the point of mercilessness, Matthew, and Hannah is probably going to be the moral compass of the group.
Possibly.
Fair
Who knows?
enough.
No,
I was intending to be a thump monkey this time, but
no, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, we play different members of the Legion depending on what mission we're going in, so it will vary. But I'm half joking, but I'm saying like previously in like Scum and Villainy, you had a character who was very sort of.
I do like my shiny light heroes.
Yeah,
it's true.
You like playing more, and that's great. Look, you like playing like a more sort of heroic character. Whereas I certainly know for myself, I tend to sort of like go for more of like the darker themes and stuff like that. That's just, I mean, what can I say? Reformed World of Darkness players, so you know.
Well, relapse now.
Well, yeah. I've slid a bit back. I've had to turn in my coin to like World of Darkness Players Anonymous, but
Yeah, sliding back into the dank bin.
I love this map as well.
I think
Yeah.
we're
It's
looking
sweet.
for more Evil Dead and less Maggie if we're going on zombie movies.
What I'm going to say as a
28
suggestion,
days
John,
later in the middle's fine.
yes, absolutely. What I was going to say, John, if you're recording the whole thing,
yes.
maybe sometimes when we do the campaign phase, which obviously it has to get into, maybe someone should share the map on the screen so people could see what we're talking about when we start moving around and. see
Yeah,
us flying out
I
and
can
stuff
easily
like
do.
that.
I mean, normally when I'm sort of recording like with the Scum and Villainy, I do have like the Roll20 screen,
Yeah.
which is obviously the map on the video, and like us sort of down in one corner. So
Right.
chances are good that the map will be on there. But I agree, yeah, because it's a very important part of the game,
Ah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Moving across the map.
And the locations, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where do we begin? Blade Master. How do we?
Okay, so actually gonna get some paper out. Take notes.
Tell you one thing I do find a bit weird about the map is not in like a bad way, but if you look at the locations, all of the locations, bar two of them, are in like little circles, like little sort of counters. But then there's two buildings that just look like normal sort of buildings you would see on a map.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think you're referring to Carlsberg and then the other one at the shore.
Well, at least we know we'll be able to get some like poor lager in one of them anyway.
No, that's where we were. That's gone now. It's no longer the best beer in the world. It's the most dead beer in the world now.
It's Deadberg.
Not sponsored by Carlsberg. The best beer in the world.
Carlsberg made zombies. Here you go.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Yeah, so Carlsberg, that's a loss. We're not going back there anymore.
So is it a
Somewhere
case?
between.
I was going to say, is it a case of like the ones that are just shown as buildings are like areas that have already been lost that we're not going to be exploring, whereas the ones that are like tokens are sort of the ones we're going to be?
You could. It's the circle token things are more. Yeah, with like Westlake, yeah, that's a place. However, you could also like you're not going to be doing stuff inside Westlake all of the time. Like you're going to range out as well.
Okay.
So it's not 100% confined to the circle token area bits. However, I think this might be another point of like that place has been lost to the Syndicate.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure though.
It could be just as an educated guess. It could be because you can unlock special missions throughout the game, which are location dependent, I think. So you may open a special mission near those Westlake and Eastlake that are located in that thing down there. Like it might be somewhere you'd go for a very determined reason.
Yep. But I think for now, let's go with the hypothesis that those are lost to the Syndicate. Because Carlsberg for sure is. So. Okay.
I think they exist on the map as a way of like for the person who picks where you go, you have an idea of like a route you can take, rather than just being the names of like they've hyperimposed them.
Yeah. That's cool.
But again, I've only read part of the book so far, so I'm excited to learn.
Well, like I say, I've recently just sort of reread through the introduction to it, but I've not sort of read through the rest of it in depth. And obviously I'm not reading any of the GM stuff for obvious reasons.
Yeah, a lot of this is very similar to Scum and Villainy. It operates on the same sort of parameters. Okay. Okay, so we need to pick our. I think let's start with doing something the book doesn't really tell us to do in this way, because we are rebels, I guess. The book says that the person running the game picks the chosen and the broken. Now, what are these? So, in this setting, and we can talk more about the setting in general as well, there are divinities, that is a fact. However, the divinities don't really interact with the world. There are no priests that cast magic spells. There's no wizards to cast spells, really. In that sense, it is very sort of restricted as far as the sort of fantastical elements that regular people will have ever seen is.
Yeah.
However, there's a tradition of these divinities, which there's like every people have their own sort of understanding of how divinities work. They have their own pantheons and whatnot. So these divinities it's called choosing, when they infuse a willing person with their essence to the point that they're kind of like just a vessel for the power of the divinity. And they do that in response to certain large threats to humanity, or the location where their interests lie. So that has happened quite a bit since the Cinder King rose, and it's only 5 years ago that the Cinder King rose in the West, and has since decimated multiple nations in his war of conquest, just converting everyone to his undead armies, which he needs more of as far as material goes, because you need muscle in this setting. You can't have skeletons. The Harryhausen type figures, you can't do that. You need flesh to reanimate. If there's just bones, it doesn't do anything. You can't reanimate bones. And these chosen, obviously, in sequence, they went there as the gods chose. The gods of the lands that he was destroying chose people to be their vessels. They went there, opposed the Cinder King, and the Cinder King destroyed them. That this is what we call breaking, which is basically the Cinder King taking this divinely powered individual and just converting them to his side, whether that's, I think they're all undead to some degree or another. So the Cinder King has broken several of the chosen. I think everyone who has went against him has been broken so far, which is a cause of some concern to the people who are used to the fact being that, oh yeah, our God has given us a vessel, so our problem is probably going to be sorted soon, which is good. But it's not going to be happening this time, because the Cinder King keeps breaking these chosen. And the broken are his lieutenants, the generals that lead the armies of undeath against humanity. So we are choosing for our campaign to give it those thematic elements that we are interested in, to broken to oppose the Legion, basically, and the humanity in this part of the world. And we're going to choose one chosen that accompanies the Legion on this trek to Skydagger Keep. And all of these, both the broken and the chosen, come with certain stuff. To give it context to us, our chosen is going to be kind of like the ship that we had in Scum and Villainy. It will give us some bonuses, but it's not something you directly control in that way, especially now because it's sort of a demigod. So they're going to have their own interests and their own objectives and agendas and grudges and whatnot, their own idiosyncrasies based on who they are and what the god is that they are infused with. So I think let's start with the bad stuff. So again, with the themes of horror, there's three broken that we can pick from. If I can get to them in my PDF here.
These are going to effectively be like the main bad guys for our story.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the main bad guys who will be... You could set up a confrontation with them, but that is sort of like an end boss thing on a higher level. That's cool. You going up to the Dark Tower and be like, "Yo, Sauron, put up them fits."
I was going to say, from what I understand from when we've talked about it, Johannes, the broken that are chosen, they sort of add a specific flavour of the sort of like the opposition to the game.
Yeah. So we start with, I'm just going to read through these because it's fairly important to understand what they bring in. I'll actually use the physical book because my PDF is more geared towards actual use, so it doesn't have all the juicy word bits, which I want. Okay, here we go. So we have three broken, the first of which is the Blighter. The Blighter also called the Flesh Blighter, brings in the following themes: body horror, surgery and science gone wrong, toxic gases and horrors of trench warfare, troops oozing with pus and disease, bodies knitted together in disturbing ways, limbs and organs where they shouldn't be, open sores and bolted on parts. Very much like twisted evil alchemy and poison, acid, the sort of like contamination thing. So that is the first one. And then we have... come on. So the second broken is called Breaker, also known as the Stormbreaker. This one brings in the following themes: long blood rituals, tension, uncertainty, psychological horror, perversion of natural order, wind, thunder, lightning, wailing, monstrous transformations of beautiful things, hexes that bind the bones and make you doubt what you see. A sort of, well, psychological horror bit with occultism, more magic. Like, this is the one where you bring in more of the like supernatural, overt, wild stuff. Kind of almost a bit like Dracula-esque in that way, that it's not so much about here's the zombies. It's more about, okay, so there's a storm coming. Is that the bad kind of storm? Is that going to bring in the bad shit, or is that just a storm? And you going into places and being like, hey, villagers, like, what's up? And you're invited in and whatnot. Eventually you figure, oh wait, the thing carved on the door, that's black magic. And we're here now. We've eaten some dinner with these guys, and oh boy, probably better go back home. And of course the transformation stuff as well, with more in line of like, this is a person. Oh, it's not. It's actually X. Yeah. And the third one, final one, is Render, Bone Render. Following themes: brutal simplicity, overwhelming force, hunger for blood, the unstoppable tide of undead, metal and smoke and fire and soot, the depersonalization of war, totalitarianism and rigidity, piles of dead bodies, rivers running red with blood, war is hell, war machines, unrelenting zombie armies, militaristic, grind you down with overwhelming force.
I would say the first two and not the last one, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Vote, guys.
I like the first one and the third one. You're muted, Matthew.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, you have to go help. I said that I like the first and second one. Second one probably the most.
So we've definitely got
Blighter.
Yeah, we've definitely got the first one locked.
Yeah.
So it's just between the last two. So you voted for 1 and 2, didn't you, love? And Matthew, you voted for 1 and 2 as well. So I'd say we go 1 and 2 then.
1 and.
You vote for 2 and 3, Matthew. Sorry.
Now I went 1 and 2.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Matthew went 1 and 2. Hannah went 1 and 2. And I went...
1 and 3. No, not 3. No one's got the
Yeah,
render.
I went
Okay.
for 3.
Yeah.
I went for 1 and
Yeah.
3. The rest
Yeah,
was 1
okay.
and 2. So
Yeah.
I'd say go for 1 and 2 then.
Okay, so we're going with the Blighter and the Breaker then. So the like dark alchemy and also witchcraft, horror, rituals, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right. So we leave the Render to do the total war elsewhere. And we're going to go ahead with these two. Okay, good. So that brings in all that this entails. And we will see how that actually comes about when we play the game, because they these broken and also your chosen and all of your legionary characters, all of these gain XP in a way. So all of them will develop going forward. So that's the thing where you're watching a horror movie, like a zombie movie or a vampire movie, and around like the halfway point in the movie, you're like, wait, what's this? Like this wasn't here before. Like that's a new type of vampire. Oh shit. So that's the kind of thing that will happen because these guys get more different kinds of awful shit as we go on. Okay, then having chosen all the bad things, we're gonna choose one of the chosen to accompany the remnants of the Legion. There's 3 of these as well. The first one is Shreya, the chosen of Azrika, the Barton goddess of mercy and healing. Intensely driven by Azrika's fury over the undead breach of the mercy of death, Shreya is aggressive in her pursuit of their destruction. She is willing to sacrifice much, including those in the Legion, if the reward is great enough. Her top priority is defeating the broken in this theater of war while staging a tactical retreat. Strategist, first and foremost, brilliant military mind, chosen of goddess of healing. So that's the kind of elements that she's going to bring in. I'll just read some more because there's more like useful stuff here. So Shreya's tactical mind and near supernatural understanding of strategy were the reason the Eastern Kingdoms pushed in this latest offensive. Counted by humanity as a major defeat, it is unclear if she has even registered the cost. Her demeanor can be inscrutable and intimidating. She is said to stand guard at odd hours, staring into the darkness for unseen signs of danger, a practice simultaneously comforting and unnerving. Select Shreya as your chosen if you want to run a more military-focused campaign with offensive actions and strategy featuring centrally in your story. And then we have the Horned One, shape-shifting chosen of the Panyar forest god. When the Panyar goddess of the moon was broken, also setting details, important, the moon has been shattered. So, yeah. When the goddess of the moon, Nyx, was broken, the moon in the sky shattered. Where others were filled with fear, the young girl known as Silver Dancing Moonlight had only rage at the loss of her goddess. She found an ancient temple, and the Horned One offered her the choice. Her rage fuels the Horned Ones, and together they seek vengeance for their loss. They use shapeshifting to spy out enemy tactics before engaging, and they guide with cunning rather than force. Where some of the chosen are military-minded and tactically focused, the Horned One functions on instinct. This is not a warrior clashing with an opponent. This is a predatory hunter testing and learning about how to best kill their prey. The Horned One spends a lot of time in animal forms, watching, observing, and learning. There's it's just different kinds of animals most of the time. And select the Horned One as your chosen if you want to run a campaign focused more on mysterious powers and clever ruses. Yep. And the final one, Zora, the chosen of the living god of the Zemyati. The living god of the Zemyati created 9 chosen long ago, and unlike the chosen of other gods, they never burn out or fade. Instead, they persist until they're completing their task, and though they can be killed. Zora has defied even this expectation. She broke Dar, which is a nation, long ago, and ended the God's war using terrifying magic to strike the god within a chosen before walking off the battlefield and into rumor and legend. As the Legion was about to be shattered in this latest offensive, Zora appeared to save them. Zora is a challenging chosen for the rank and file. On one hand, she is by far the most personable of the chosen, seeming to genuinely like engaging with people. On the other hand, she is constantly testing those around her in her little ways, honing them into a fine blade. There are stories of legionnaires waking up in a tree in the woods, a single knife strapped to their chest, miles of territory to cross back to camp. Or warriors that wake up to a battle cry as she strikes a blow to start the morning training. She drinks with the victors and shows sad disappointment to those that retreat from battle. choose Zora as your chosen if you want to run a campaign focused on mighty battles and clashing directly with terrifying powers. Any preferences?
I'm leaning towards number 3, Zora.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. I kind of like the horned one as well. But I do kind of like that one.
Yeah, punch the evil in the face.
Like I said, we've talked before. I think for me would be the third one. I think the more interesting interaction with someone you could talk to.
Yep. So we're
The
going
second
with.
one's pretty cool too, though. Like, but very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not human
Yeah.
in that sense at all.
Yeah.
Even though like the power is contained in this human vessel, the god is distinctly non-human. So, whereas it's the opposite with Zora because she is like an idealized version of like heroism in a way. So yeah, we're going with Zora, and we're going with the Blighter, and we're going with the Breaker. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about the choice, because we're choosing one special ability for Zora as well. I guess we can just talk about it now, because I don't know that we'll have extremely more context after making player characters, so we'll just go through it now because we have chosen this thing.
Okay.
So the chosen get abilities which they confer onto you. It's a bonus for how the Legion works when they level up, so to speak. So the abilities for Zora, which we pick one from to start with, are Star of the Dawn. When you advance, which is to say you move from one location to another on the map, you roll pressure as if one lower, which means that pressure is how surrounded are you by the undead as you try and move away from them. So it's what the flavor text is: Zora rides and protects the troops when the Legion advances. This can reduce pressure roll below 1, so it makes it easier for you when you move around, because Zora does the Gandalf thing with the light, I guess. Sacred Seals. All Legionnaires gain special armor versus magical effects. So this would be you have something on you, this is the thing we need to talk about when this happens, but she gives you some sort of sacred seals, which you can then use to resist when there's magic coming your way. You can use that to put that aside or lessen the effect, because it's a sacred seal that you have. Living God's Fury. If you are the quartermaster and you spend religious supplies before an assault mission, so if you have religious stuff and you spend it before you go and it's like straight out attack mission, you can get +1 to the engagement roll, which is to select the starting roll, if we remember from Scum and Villainy. You get 1 more die on that, and everyone on the mission gets extra gear to destroy the undead. Basically like anti-undead stuff to bring on to the mission. Living God's Kiss. When you rest and recuperate, you remove corruption, because she does it somehow. We need to talk about this as well, how that actually happens. This is a thing that you cannot do otherwise. Corruption is permanent. However, Zora has an ability, if she has it, to remove it somehow, which is quite valuable, because you cannot do it normally at all. Living God's Vigor. If you are, well, I suppose all of them are. Say the Legionnaire characters can take an extra level 2 harm, so more endurance in battle. Heart of Heroes. Everyone gets an extra XP trigger, which is if you engage a higher threat opponent by yourself. If you single out the cave troll and you're like, all right, well, let me get my shield out. I'm gonna go to work. You guys deal with that. I'll deal with this one. This big one's mine. You're gonna get XP for that. Anointed. All this is going to a thing that you don't know about yet, but there's different types of missions and specific types of missions gain XP for the Chosen. If you engage with that particular type of mission a lot, they gain XP. Anointed means that all the possible 3 categories count for Zora, which is you get like triple the amount of opportunities to give Zora XP. And the last one is Blood of Fire. If you spend religious supplies before a mission, everyone gets fire oil, which is like napalm. So any of those particularly stand out to you guys?
Well, I mean, I can see from a sort of yeah, they're all pretty good. I can see from a sort of meta point that the corruption removal want to be very useful. Because, like you said, there's no sort of other way to do that. Mm-hmm. But also, I can see the benefit of because presumably when the Chosen get XP, they can acquire other of these abilities.
Yep.
So I can see the advantage of going for the more XP for the Chosen one sort of first of all. Then trying to bump the Chosen up as quickly as possible to get other abilities. I don't know what you guys think about it.
My personal thoughts on this is I'd probably go Anointed at the start, because I feel like things will get a lot tougher as time goes on. So if the opportunity for us to grow is quicker at the beginning rather than later.
Well, which one's the Anointed one? Sorry.
The one
you're pitching for as well.
Oh, the one we get more XP.
Yeah.
Yep.
I completely agree, but can we go for the improved healing one next?
Yeah, that's why I see it as a benefit. We take the more XP one, we bump it up as quickly as we can, then try and get some of the other ones which are more useful in and of themselves. Yeah, exactly.
Judging by what Hannes has said, is the game gets tougher as time goes on.
Yeah, so, it definitely does.
So the idea that we use that time wisely and hopefully accelerate the Chosen's growth.
Yeah, then hopefully by the time it does get tougher later on, the Chosen's got some more abilities under their belt which we can use to help us out in the later stages.
That means we have to do missions, obviously, that would potentially up their abilities, which...
Yeah, but doesn't the Anointed ability mean that all 3 of a categories?
Yeah, there's more than 3, but every other Chosen gets to pick 1. Right. And that's the case for Zora as well. But if we pick Anointed, all her 3 categories count.
So are we basically saying, guys, that we take Anointed first, and then we while we're relatively sort of at the start? I mean, I know it's not going to be easy going, but while it's easier, we try and hit as many of those missions as possible.
Yeah, that's the idea.
To boost Zora up. Then when we get to the later stage when things are really getting desperate, hopefully we've got a few more of those abilities under our belts to keep us.
Hopefully our Chosen will back us up at that point as well. We'll have
Yeah, I mean, you pick the one that is explicitly about, is there a great danger? A strong opponent? Count me in.
Yeah. I think it's Anointed for the ability.
Yeah, it specifically highlights in the description here. There's a good ability to take for longer games. Also, something here that we might think about as we play. It says in parentheses after that, particularly if you plan to play future campaigns. We could, if we eventually get to Skydagger Keep
and survive,
we can play the next one. I will cook up a custom thing for us, and then we'll proceed with that and see where we end up, and it's going to be great.
Well,
but let's get there first.
I'll say, you know me, guys. When have we ever played a campaign where my character's not survived right until the end?
But the book does set your expectations in that you can actually fail.
Yeah. There's multiple ways to fail, actually.
Well, I've got to admit, almost perversely, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, because in a traditional sort of RPG, even if all your characters get wiped out, like a total party kill, you've not sort of lost the game. You make new characters, you carry on, happy days. Whereas obviously in this, if the Legion gets destroyed and doesn't make it to Skydagger Keep, that's it pretty much.
It's what I like about it is it forces you to be bold in some ways. You're like, we have to move, we have to do this.
We've got to make sure we don't get too reckless, Matthew. That's what we need to be
careful. Can't promise.
Yeah. Even as I was saying that, I was like, I'm not even convincing myself, never mind Matthew.
Okay, so we have our chosen. I have the broken, which are not something I'm going to go into more detail on this, because that's the thing we're going to find out in game. We don't need to generate the leadership. So let's pick some characters now for the first selection of those. So under Legionnaires, you can find the I think the category is called Specialist. So all these here, Heavy, Medic, Officer, Scout, and Sniper, these are all called Specialists because they have achieved a specialized rank.
Okay.
Which these are all, by the way, in-game terms. So the Legion calls someone with a tower shield and a lot of armor in the front lines, they call them a Heavy. So that's like an actual in-game term for that kind of person. And the actual rank and file people there are called soldiers, and the heavies are just called heavies. So there's also characters other than these specialists, which we're not going to start out with. We will use those when we go forward. But there is a sort of progression curve here where you can make rookies, which are, and it's fantastic because these all have very thematic tropey stuff attached to them if you have the military context in mind. So you have the rookie, and in your equipment you're going to have cooking supplies because you're the one carrying all the pans and, and the pots.
The baggage handler.
Yeah, and then one of your other inventory items is a naive hope.
Oh, man.
Oh boy. And then you graduate from being a rookie to a soldier, and then you move on, and you accumulate stuff that you bring with you when you finally pass the test. You do the thing that you're supposed to, which we will talk about when that happens. When you're a soldier and you're trying to be a heavy, and maybe it's all the other heavies in the Legion then make you do this test against them, and then you succeed, and then you're a heavy, but you can bring some stuff along from when you were a rookie and a soldier. So you're like you accumulate this experience, and you're not just a heavy. You will be a heavy that has gone through this stuff before. But we're going to start out with some specialists. So please take a look at the sheets. I know that you have to some extent already, but look at them and pick something that seems cool to you. I can read some stuff from here. It's fairly self-explanatory, but for anyone who's listening. So heavy. Play a heavy if you want to shine with might and determination against the dark. Play a medic if you want to... Play a medic if you want to get your fellow soldier through a mission alive. Play an officer if you want to command your troops to victory even when they're up against certain death. Play a scout if you want to see the enemy coming and always know what you're up against. Play a sniper if you want to dispatch the most dangerous threats from afar. So those are the specialists that we have at our disposal at this moment.
So what are you guys feeling at the minute?
Heavy.
Yep.
I'll unmute myself first. I think I'd go scout or sniper.
Yeah, I was thinking of going medic, to be honest.
Quality.
I'll go
Yeah.
sniper then. Sniper.
Okay, so before you get to filling those, let me make some copies for you specifically, because I need to reuse this stuff.
Oh yeah, there's many of these coming.
Yeah. Then again, this is the thing again with people who have used Roll20 before. John will know about this. Again, just for anyone who's listening, the sheets are so good. You make a character sheet, and then when you're trying to actually go to the sheet for the first time in the little sheet tab, it will ask you, what kind of sheet is this? Is it one of these specialists? Is it a soldier? Is it a rookie? Is it a chosen? Is it the broken? What is this? And you select, and the menu goes away, and it gives you the sheet that you clicked on.
Nice.
Which is just, wow, guys. That's some quality of life you don't see That made me very happy. So I retract my
I can
statement.
see how happy you are.
Yeah,
about
yeah. Because listen, Matthew, I can just 2 clicks and I will have more heavies. So
it. Life is good.
yeah, it's great. Yeah. So yeah, just start filling in. You can put the name. There's some in-game stuff like culture stuff and context we're going to talk about before we get to filling it. But I'll just mention, if you open, I'm looking at the heavy. So at the top left, there's the Band Blades logo. Below that is a gray box. That is the name box. So when you're writing your name, write it there. I wrote heavy there so that it would show up as heavy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, I see.
Yep. So we have.
So what I'll do then, I'll put the name and then in brackets put what it is, so that in future we know like that's that specialist.
Yeah. Okay. So. Ooh. So I think just because of the way that the book is laid out, first we have chosen a playbook. Okay, let's just do it exactly the way it says in the book. So we have chosen a playbook. Cool. Then choose a special ability. So one of those in the big gray column with the red flag. Pick one of those.
You mean the racial ones or the?
No, it's the special abilities
right,
at the very top with the red flag, that gray box.
Okay.
Right, I've ticked first aid for mine.
Right. Yeah, so you can remove sort of slight wounds with your tonics. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, do you get the first one by default?
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
You get attaché for free on mine.
Oh, yeah.
Is it pre-filled or something?
Yeah, for the medic specifically. Yeah. Unless it says something else, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, so I was going to say, for instance, on the medic one, the first ability attaché is already ticked, and it says you may deploy on any mission, even outside the usual specialist caps.
All right.
Gain this ability for free when you become a medic.
Yeah. Not everyone gets that. It's a medic thing. I see you have, Matthew. You are copyright infringing, and we will be terminated by GW with gusto.
God damn it!
In mere moments. So.
I need to change the name.
It was a good time, guys, playing, but
I honestly didn't think anyone would notice. All right.
I'm a fan, so unfortunately I do.
Okay, I'll change it.
Yeah, no, it was whatever. Okay, so it says in book, if you can't decide which one to pick, go with the first one on the list. It's placed there for a good default choice. Can't speak.
All right, yeah, I'll go with that. I suppose I'll go with the top one. Start as a mean to go on.
Yep. So have we picked our special stuff?
I've gone with one eye. You've replaced an eye with an alchemical construct. You can see invisible tides clearly and identify as supernatural forces.
Nice.
It just kind of seemed like who would survive? Who'd be like the 10% that survives like this battle? The guy with an eye that can see invisible
with a
things.
cyber eye.
Yeah.
What have you gone for, love?
I've gone for the default one, which is Bulwark, which means I can spend anchor uses, whatever that might be, as special armor against consequences to a squad I am defending.
Yep, we'll talk about that. That is basically a resource point you can spend.
I assumed it must be.
Yeah, then that happens.
Cool.
Okay, and it's also against. Let's see. as special armor against consequences to a squad you're defending. So it's kind of like a bodyguard move. So you can, the way I'm reading that is like if someone's trying to like tag the medic, you can be like, nah, nah.
Yeah, that's how I saw it as well.
Well,
Human shield, effectively.
I'm just imagining Hannah's character like picking up one of us injured now, being like, "I can be your hero, baby."
Another copyright strike.
I think Bulwark's pretty good because you can take on an entire squad of things, right? That's just how it works.
Yeah, heavies are no joke.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so we have chosen our special abilities. Now we choose heritage. These are the cultural contexts for the different peoples of the Eastern Kingdoms, because we are basically remnants of people who came from there and got wrecked here. There are locals as well, but the basic understanding that the game has is that you will be one of these 4 different Eastern Kingdom heritage representatives. So there's a bunch of detail you will find on your sheet. Let me look at it. Okay, so there's a very minimal heritage thing on the left side if you scroll down under advancement, which I will give you way more context now. So I have quite a lot of info for each of these. So I'll give you the sort of a couple of sentences long pitch for each, and then you pick which one sounds interesting to you, and then I'll go into detail as per your choices, right? So the first one is Bartons. Bartons are close-knit and devout. Many wear jewelry made of tokens granted to them by family and the people they have forged strong friendships with. Their culture is agrarian and ruled by a council. Second one, Orites are cosmopolitan and influential. Their country is known for its technology. Their advances in clockwork and alchemy are almost as defining as their obsession with nobility and lineage. Paniar come from the deep forest, which was touched by an ancient god. Everyone that spends enough time in the forest eventually gains an animal trait, such as cat-like eyes or noticeable fangs. Their culture focuses on great deeds, and Paniar must earn the third part of their name. The fourth and last one is Zemyati, and this is where Zora is coming from, just if anyone's interested. Zemyati are mountain-dwelling clans, and their culture is a complex arrangement of oaths between various clans, between a clan and its members, and between a Zemyati and the world. Very much obsessed with swearing blood oaths and like living by those. So those are the 4. Any particular interests there?
I'm liking the sound of the Zemyati.
Them and the Panyar for me.
Yeah, Panya do sound pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking both Zimiati and Panya were the 2 I was like, ooh, yes, for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is there a border between those 2 places?
We don't have the map, so we're going to say yes. We can see the forest of Pania on the very
place.
Right lower edge of the map. We can see Pania forest in there. So Pania is there, and we don't have the exact location of Or, but we can just say it's beyond Pania. So I'll go into... no, sorry. Was it... Am I talking out of my ass? Because we were interested in Paniar and Zemyati, right? Just everyone? Yeah. Okay. Again, we don't know where Zemia is, rather. So we can just place it wherever. Anyway, the Legion takes in all comers. So it's a extremely sort of the melange of people. Yeah, it's like they take in everyone who is good for it. So to help you make the choice, I'll go through the Paniar and the Zemyati. So about the looks of the Paniar. Though dark eyes and dark hair are most common in the forests of their homeland, Most Panyar color their hair using bright-hued dyes from Barta mixed with forest tubers. Each Panyar has an animal feature gained by living a dozen years in the forest of Panya. They favor clothes that allow freedom of movement, but tend to copy local dress customs when traveling. And you should be able to see on your sheet the Panyar traits that you can choose from, which is just the bonuses that you can get. I'll check. I think you choose 2 of those.
Is this different? Is this for each?
Yeah.
Is this every time you make a character?
Yeah, every time you make a character, it's one of these heritages. So you pick 2 traits from the heritage that you choose from. You can see the traits there, and I'll just give you some more context with the names. So Panyar names are from 3 different parts: a color name, a mark name, and a deed name. So you could be Amber Charging Blaze as a result of who you are. And there's different varieties here, which I can give you access to if you want. So that's the Panyar. We have the Zemyati. Zemyati are pale-skinned and favor heavier clothing in their dress, embroidered with gold and silver thread. Both men and women wear braided jewelry and accent their dress with forged pieces akin to armor. All Zemyati keep a small ritual dagger on them for the swearing of blood oaths. Yep, and their names are a given name and then a patronymic or matronymic. So this is very the names here very much with that sort of like off-brand Slavic flavor. So you could be Adrimir Daniovic, for example. Yeah, so those are Panyar and Zemyati. Any favorites?
Definitely leaning more towards Panyar now.
See, I was leaning more to the Panyar until you mentioned the sort of Slavic, like Russian stylings of the of the Zemyati, and I've leant back towards them again.
Obviously, we're going to get to play various different over time. But
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go Zemyati for this particular one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So let's go with. Is there? I have shared. If you look under handouts and then references, there's the cultures of the East, where you can read more about your particular thing, and at the bottom of each of those entries, you have the names which are listed in the book if you want to use those names to create the name for your character. I have to say I really, really like the Panyar naming convention.
Yeah, it does look sweet, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stick with Zemyati there.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty sweet as well. Like I love me some blood oaths.
Yeah, man, what's not to like?
Interesting.
Let me just tweak my name appropriately.
I think I'll get better at these names over time.
Mm-hmm. I also find it highly amusing that the surviving Alrights, pretty much everyone is a noble of some sort, and there's no
Peasants.
and it's sort of like that's true.
Are they all zombies?
They're I think it's sort of implied that even in their homeland, it's a case of everyone's claiming a title, so which is funny.
Cultures of the East. Okay. You pick 2 of these traits, right? Or
Yeah,
just the one?
two heritage traits.
Okay, but these can be different between each like one you make.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's all right. Oh, cool. As soon as you pick one, it
Yeah, because it's
that
great. Because the sheet is
I
great.
love this. I love it. Oh yes, absolutely. I need that. Yes, I want that so much. Never have I wanted a trait so bad.
Yep. And of course, everyone can develop nicknames. That's the thing you do in the Legion. So
Well, what I've come up with this guy is he's known more by his nickname than his actual clan name because of a detail that's on the sheet for anyone who plays him in the future that isn't me. So he's sort of...
Also, do you actually get to like swap round? Like, obviously, you're creating.
yeah.
That. All right, cool. So, like I said, I've. It was ages ago. I read sort of most of the book, and I've only recently sort of reread the introduction to get a bit of a flavour of it.
Yep.
That's
So, in effect, we are playing the whole of the Legion as it exists now. We're playing all the people who make the calls, so like the officers at the very top, and then we have 6 squads or 6 remnants of regiments, which have their own names and stuff, and we're playing all the people in the Legion, and one of the Legion leaders gets to pick who goes on a mission. So whoever ends up playing that character, and for those, I'm going to say we're going to stick with them. So John, if you are the quartermaster, you're going to be the quartermaster like until the end of the game.
Yeah.
Just to make it consistent on that level. Unless, I guess, if by some incredible fuck up, your leaders get killed, and then we'll shift them around. But I think we might have problems at that point.
What are the chances of that happening?
Yeah.
We essentially look after a roster of characters that we build as the campaign goes on.
See, now I'm just hoping that each of the squadrons has their own nickname.
Yeah, they have their names. They have names. Yeah.
So that's some sort of like red squad standing by.
Yeah.
If you open the Marshall sheet, for example, it tells you the little squad names. If you want to have a look, John.
Oh yeah, that's quite
I
nice.
was looking through them all.
Yeah. And they all have a bit of flavor text and their own banner as well, which I have graphics for.
Sweet.
Yeah. So if we go on a mission and it's all about the grinning ravens, and the grinning ravens do a good job, but they all come back beat to shit, whereas the marshal can look at them and be like, these people are half dead and they do a good job, so I don't want to get them killed, so they're gonna sit this one out and recuperate, and we're gonna send out
bench.
Yeah, we're gonna send out the silver stags instead on this other mission that we're doing.
I do like the fact as well. We might be like, all we've got left are like the Star Vipers, and they're like a bit wiggity wank whenever we send it. But obviously, it's actually us playing them.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that.
And if some mission has one particular character really fucking it up, when we're doing the planning of missions, like, yeah, we like the Star Vipers, but man, like that Madcap Jones, like that's a fucked up dude.
I like the idea on the mission. We're like, why do they send us on this? This is not our expertise. What the fuck's going on? What do they know? Yeah, it'll be good.
I think there's some potential for like, obviously, if you wanted to have like a bit of a cut scene there of like people like talking in the other units, like, I don't know what the fucking commander's thinking. He should have sent the Grinning Ravens on this mission. We're like the best requisition specialists we've got, and they've sent them fucking ghost owls on the mission.
Yeah,
quality, love it.
Yeah, and you have some get back to camp scenes here as well. Like it's built into the structure where you have a little role play when you come back from a mission. So then if you come back and you're all beat to shit and the mission was a failure, and then you have the Grinning Ravens, they're like, yeah, What did you expect? You sent in the fucking Star Vipers and Madcap Jones. Like, that's going to be
some
bad.
boys to do men's jobs.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Good. Good, yes. Does everyone have a name?
Yep.
Yep.
So we have, for our roster, Grey Standing Cliff, the Panyar Heavy.
Nice.
We have
Nice.
Theonin Islanovic, the Medic. And we have, undoubtedly dressed in dark clothing,
Robes of deepest black.
Skulking about.
skulking the fuck about, we have Rain Deadeye, the sniper.
Oh, and now we're seeing Matthew's real reason for being a sniper, so we can get that skulk on.
Yeah. Yeah, standing on rooftops next to gargoyles.
I don't know if you realise, Matthew, there's no skulk trait in this.
It's maneuver, I think, now.
Yeah.
Can I rename it? Just on the sheet. Just edit the character sheet and see if he knows this.
Let's say, Matthew, you can have a 12-part progress clock to rename your maneuver into Skulk for this character.
Yes.
So do we need to pick traits for our guys?
Yeah, you pick 2 culture traits, heritage traits for the Zemiati.
I took tough, ignore level 1 harm penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I took bold, an extra dice to resist desperate actions.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a thing that I'm going to need forever.
Yeah,
I think
that sounds very useful.
I think I'm going to take tough. And oh, that's pretty cool. When you click on your first one, it gets rid of all the other heritages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty fucking sweet.
me and Matthew were slobbering all over the sheet here.
I'm going to go for tough and stubborn. Because that's the way I roll.
Yeah, tough and stubborn, like your bread.
I like to think of like the sort of like the tough many is you can survive a bit of harm to like sort of administer to like your sort of squadron mates, but then like that whole stubborn like don't you die on me sort of like thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, then we have. You can add 4 more action pips on your things here, and during character creation, no action rating may be higher than 2. So add 4, and let's see. I'm looking at because everyone gets like a special thing. I'm looking at if you get it by default, like if you just get it when you become a heavy, for example.
Is this like the insight prowess, that stuff?
Yeah.
So, for example, on the heavy, I've got 1 point in anchor, 1 in wreck, 1 in and 2 in skirmish.
Yeah,
so
that's
I assume I'd be adding on to that. Yeah.
Did you add the anchor yourself?
I've not touched it yet. That's just how it's gone as default.
Yeah. Then I think because you get aim, which is a special thing as well. Mm-hmm. Is it? I'm looking at the snipers.
There's a bit lower down on the sheet, like an extra box of skill type things.
Let me just compare 2 sheets, and I will have an answer. Yep. Okay. So it looks like automatically, depending on what the character is. So, for example, with the heavy, it will put anchor at the top of your insight, right? Yeah, and with the medic, you will have doctor at the top, and with the sniper, you will have aim, and all those are special to you. So you get one in that. Cool. So that was the one that I was looking at. So add on 4 more pips in any combination you choose. However, only 2 in each at this point. That's the max.
Okay.
And the special thing is, I'll just find the information for that because it works a little bit different.
Aim's like a different thing.
Yeah,
okay.
It's for you only.
And how much did you say we're adding on? Sorry.
4 more pips.
Right, let's have another one in Doctor then.
Can you add pips to your special one?
Yeah, I think it's just I'm just looking at if you can get more of them. Probably not, like different special ones. But yeah, you can add on like a second pip to your special thingy. Specialist action. Okay, here we go. Specialist actions.
That's the only thing this should highlight, so you know that's something different about it.
Yeah, but it's at the top, so now we know. For everyone, it's at the top. So. Yeah, for the specialist stuff, you don't roll them. Instead, you get uses equal to the number of pips you have in it per mission. And you get to do a thing.
Yeah, it just automatically happens.
Yep. Yep. For example, for aim, each aim use allows you to increase the effect level of your shot 1 for 1. So when you're rolling, you might be, I'm spending 2 of my aim on this, because I'm going to go for the headshot.
Or making incredible shots.
Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah.
You bring out the railgun, and...
Yeah, someone's made a coin hole in some almost impenetrable armor, and I'm going to penetrate through that weak point.
Yep.
Right, done.
Okay.
Also, John, if you have the actual book open...
yeah, it's there on page 70.
If you go to the actual specialist thing, it gives you advice for what kind of build to go for if you want to flavor.
Cool.
So on mine, for example, it says if you want to make a gunslinger, a hunter, or something like that, this is how you could sort of set it up at the beginning. So,
Yeah, so these, what Matthew is referring to are starting builds. So if you don't want to fiddle with the pips yourself, you can look at the sort of thematic thing you could go for with each of these.
Oh, cool, I'll have a look. So 83 for medic.
Yeah. So you could go for combat medic scientist or moral compass are the different flavor.
Yeah, I probably will go for that to start with. So.
So yeah, I went for the Overwatch one because I imagine this guy's at the back observing threats with his Deadeye ability, hiding in the shadows, maneuvering skulk in the round.
He is the knight.
He's the knight.
+1. Skirmish +1. Discipline 1.
Your sniper gets a really nice ability as well, the Crimson Shot,
Yes.
which you can use to do absolutely massive damage. However, you get trauma each time you use it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, this always ends well.
Well, I can only take 2 trauma before I die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can only use it to... What?
That's the thing as well. Coming up through the rookie soldier specialist, there are advances there where you can increase your thresholds for stuff. So you could get more stress, more trauma boxes as you come up the ranks.
Right, so I've just gone for the sort of combat medic build. So I've got Doctor 2, Research 2, Skirmish 1, Maneuver 2, Consort 1, and Discipline 2.
I've gone for an Overwatch, which is basically someone who's covering the backfield.
Yeah.
So I've gone Aim 2, Scout 2, Maneuver 2, Shoot 2.
Nice.
As a starting, But I feel like he'll eventually start getting some research. as he starts to understand what he can see with his dead eye.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. But that's the
Delve
thing,
into
like,
some dark lore.
I won't necessarily always play this character. I might play something else on the mission.
Yeah. And if your character gets too wounded, then it's probably smart to leave them out.
I do like the fact one of the medic's special ability is called Doctor Feelgood.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it come with a nice little musical number?
It says spend 1 use of tonic to grant 1 person potency for a physical action. So you're basically like boosting someone up, like pepping them up, like just before they go into a confrontation.
To feel good.
Feel good. I also love the fact there's a special ability called moral support, where it's like once a mission, if you tell a funny, personal, or meaningful story, when the squad's resting, everyone may clear 1 stress. So I love the idea of you sat around the campfire at the end and you're telling some amusing story and everyone has a bit of a laugh and it lifts their spirits up a bit. Obviously I've not got that ability yet, but I do like it as a bit of flavour. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Okay, so I think the bit where it says notes at the top, there's another notes at the bottom, but the top one, I think that's where you're supposed to put down some cursory notes about what the character's looks are like. The thing it says in the book is, finally, think about how your character looks and acts towards others. Do they tend to be decked in fine garb, befitting their noble station? Are they secretive by nature and tend to lurk in the shadows? Record a quick description of the character's appearance and presentation in the notes section.
Okay.
Gruff old man, 2 days from its retirement, too old for this shit. Dislocated shoulder.
Boom.
Okay. And when we're done with that, yeah, we... Also, you can access the sheet for Zora as well, for upkeep and stuff. So we chose Anointed, which I've now marked on her sheet. And you can see a picture there of her as well. So that is indeed a circlet of fire hovering above her head, and so just a hilt with a blade of solid fire coming from it. She doesn't fuck around. And as a result of your having chosen Anointed, the Holy, Mystic, and Glory missions all give her XP, which is called Favor. Oh, and you also start with 1 already. So I've added at the top of her sheet 1 XP already. So you're on the path.
On the way.
And I'll mark all the 3 in red for Favor categories of mission. Now, we can choose 2. It says again that I should choose it, but I think it's fun to talk about this as a group. We choose 2 different features for Zora from the following list: alluring, blazing, fearsome, monstrous, radiant, shining, vicious, and transcendent.
I'm thinking blazing's got to be one of them. I mean, look at the amount of fire on that shizzle.
So
See, for me,
I quite like shining.
For me personally, I think fearsome because I like the idea that they're quite intimidating and that they're teaching you, but they're quite like
All right,
almost
well,
scary to be around sometimes.
well, Shining's a bit like Blazing. Instead of Blazing, why don't we go for Shining and Fearsome?
No, go for Blazing and Fearsome. You've like bowed out on 2 or 3 decisions so far.
I'm just
Let's
happy
go with
to
your
be here.
thing.
I'm just
Blazing and Fearsome it is.
I'm just trying to get myself some props early doors so like when my characters are dying left, right, and centre, I won't get so much shit for it.
Okay, so we're going with fearsome.
And
And
why don't we split the difference and go for Radiant?
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna read those out. So, fearsome, terrifying in their outward manifestation. So basically, she's going to have this aura of menace that touches people on a primal level.
To be fair, if someone with like a fiery halo and like a burning sword and Plague Timer came running towards me, I'd be shitting myself. So.
Yeah, it's like this isn't no. I don't want to deal with this.
See, I feel like she's not unkind, but I feel like she installs a kind of primal like, oh shit.
Yeah, because she is basically the way that I interpret all that we know about Zora is she's kind of like a furious demigod
Yeah.
that has a lot of capability for destruction and willingness to pursue that, and that is her essence, which she bleeds out into the world. So it's kind of like
with how the world's gone.
it's kind of like looking at nuclear missiles that walk, and it's like, oh, I know that's a weapon, and it can destroy everything here. So, okay, so we're going with fearsome, and what was it? Radiant,
Yep.
brimming with the divine light that can be seen even the darkest of nights. Okay, so
That's kind of good because it's like we've got a balance there of both sort of negative and a sort of positive. Like it's like
Yeah.
there's a sort of middle ground there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice that whole thing, like fire, obviously represented on the image. Obviously, fire can be a great force for destruction, but also, that light can be a source of hope. You cook with fire, so again, it's got that sort of positive and negative side to it.
Yep. So I'm going to say, in addition to her fiery halo and the fire sword, she's going to have eyes, just like pure light streaming out, and she's going to have this ambient light. Like, she is not going to go on any stealth missions at night. She is a beacon.
Nice.
And invites hostility as well with the light, and also by her attitude, because she's a warrior by nature. So she's going to be, in more ways than one, sort of like the guiding light of this retreat, quite literally as well. So you need to hide her under. I love it, because if you need to bring her at night somewhere, and you need to be secretive, you're gonna need to make some pretty good rolls to convince her to be like, please, could you put these sheets on?
Get under the blanket.
Yeah. Then it's like, yeah, that'll be fun.
A lion does not hide from the sheep.
Good.
Just imagine if she talks to you, you feel it like a physical force, like you feel it in your chest.
Yeah.
When she speaks to you directly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it says here under the header "Chosen in the campaign." The Chosen is akin to a battle cruiser. They are a powerful force and only used against major problems. So it is assumed that Chosen usually stays at camp, helping guard the remnants of the Legion against the periodic deadly assaults of the undead. When the Chosen takes the field, the Legion takes a significant risk, so it's not done without great need. They deploy only when their lack of presence would guarantee mission failure and high casualties, or their motives and drives align with the mission.
It also makes sense in the fiction of why our band has survived at the beginning, because the zombies may have showed up to camp and she just walked out and went, "What up?"
Mm-hmm.
and just took them out. We've managed to
get scorched. Yep.
It's time to feel the burn.
I have a feeling that our initial mission may be a bit salty. if
You
it is
think? Yeah. No, I quite like this one. It's pretty good. So yeah, we can go into the intro bit here.
Sweet.
It's a short. We're going to jump in. We're going to do a bit of thing, and then we'll come back and we'll go through the leadership role picking here as well, if we can squeeze it in. Does anyone have tight schedule moving? Like, are we getting close to? Yep.
Okay for now, man.
Okay.
Might grab
Good.
another drink in a little bit, but I'm alright.
Yeah, we can deal with that. That's acceptable. Zora condones drinking when you're
Hydration's
victorious.
important when you're fighting.
Yeah. I love that image of like Zora just like cleaving through swathes of zombies with the fire blade and just turning the camera. Remember, kids, hydrate when you're fighting the undead.
Just because I'm a blazing light of
Either that or
doesn't
turns
mean I
around
don't
and like,
drink.
hey, we've all had great fun here, but just to turn serious for a moment, I never enter a battle without drinking at least 2 pints of water. Mountain fresh.
Heavy on for your
Remember,
chosen and mine.
knowing's half the battle.
Yeah, straight from the springs of Zemia. Zemia spring water. It puts the spring in your step.
Just to point out, other fictional spring waters are available.
Yes.
This one is the one you want.
Yeah, the nation of Or also makes good, excellent spring water, infused with alchemical pizzazz. Okay, we have our characters here, and yeah, the logic of how it all works is very much the same. If you click on your skirmish on your sheet, it will give you the prompt. You fill things in. Yeah, let's talk about load before we go, because that's kind of important.
I was just about to ask, actually.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
The thing with this is there's a lot more that is sort of structured. There's a lot more bits that are defined. So that's in opposition to Scum and Villainy, where it's sort of, I'll go in and like, hey guys, are you using heavy, light, or medium load? And then it's just that. But with this, it's about the sort of equipment that you get from the Legion, because you're not freewheeling space pirates now. You're trying to be soldiers.
Fortunately not.
In this extremely poor situation. Also, there's a bit here that's about why rank doesn't matter. You used to have ranks in the Legion. However, the Legion is kind of destroyed, and all you have left are these. I think it's like, let's just go with some people. You have some people left, and it's not enough to justify rigid structures aside from the leadership, which we have 3 roles for. So that's basically the only ranks as we go. And then you might have had a rank previously. Doesn't matter now, because
I was going to say, along that vein, guys, just to point out, obviously I have to use like 1 use of like my tonics to like heal anyone. Now, if we go for a light load, I have 1 use of tonics. If we go for a normal load, I have 2 use of tonics. If I go for a heavy load, I have 4 use of tonics. But obviously then I'm slower and I'm a bit more weighed down by equipment.
Yeah.
So
Well,
obviously
we don't know what mission we're on, I suppose. We don't know what we would have been given for that
Yeah.
mission.
yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute as soon as I get to the bit where it talks
Yeah.
about load, so that I can figure
I like
that
that
out.
they've gone to like a middle of the ground kind of thing where you get certain things, then you pick
Mhm.
2 utilities as well, which is good. Because it keeps a bit of the kind of customization I liked from the other games.
Yeah, and you can get upgrades for the utility as well, like more utility slots. So
And Crimson Shot,
Crimson Shot is pretty good.
it really kills me. If I use it, I'm going to
Yeah.
die.
It also kills the enemy real good.
I don't actually know what it is.
It's like some blood magic bullets. Like you have
Of
these
course
like
it is.
ensorcelled bullets that which you bleed on, and
Would
then
you permit? I don't know if it is copyright, but would you permit me to play like 30 seconds of "Carry On My Wayward Son" whenever I use it?
Yeah.
go full supernatural like ending.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
stories, the road so far.
Yeah, there'll be peace once we're done. There won't,
Then-
though. Like, please note, there won't be.
Will be. Gold has been used. Okay.
Okay, load. Wherefore art thou? There we are. Okay, loadout. Legionnaires are equipped with some standard gear for their precision, being issued kits, weapons, and armor by the quartermaster. Before each mission, decide what your character's load will be. Light, you're faster, less conspicuous, equipped to travel light, and expected to source supplies as you travel. Pick this if you want to be able to blend with the local populace, seem non-threatening, outrun your opponents, and sneak through tight places. Normal load, you look like a soldier on a mission, or at least a bandit or a mercenary. Pick this one if you want to be ready for a variety of situations, but may need stealth on occasion. Heavy, you're slower. You look like a soldier ready for heavy combat. No one will mistake you for anything other than what you are. Pick this one if you know you're going to face trouble and want to be able to take heavy hits and solve a variety of problems with your gear. And the mission... So for our edification, each of the chosen comes with a campaign starting mini mission thing. So you can jump right in, which I highly appreciate that. It gives you a little taste right off the bat, and it also eases you into the stuff. Okay. We can pick the loadout as you hear this pitch, but is there anything we need to clarify before we dive in for a little bit of action?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, everyone's good to go. Systems are green, so we're going to start. I think it's probably one of those with the entirely black screen, and then there's some like increasingly loud noise in the background of just like combat and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
With the crafting of Black Shot, the undead armies had been at a standstill in the Western Kingdoms, too well entrenched to attack directly, and held at bay by smaller but better equipped forces. That changed at the Battle of the Ettenmark Fields. Now the Legion has been shattered, and the Cinder King's troops march east, bolstered with heretofore unseen horrors to fight humanity. The Legion commander was captured, holding the retreat, and taken to an Aldramani mountain castle on the border of Dar. The red banners of the Cinder King were sighted entering the keep, and Zora claims a special interrogator was sent to turn the commander with his mind intact. The Legion's leaders have decided on a last-ditch rescue attempt. The castles are designed to keep people out, but there is a drainage pipe beneath the mountain that might prove a way in. Can you rescue the commander before he is turned and all Legion secrets extracted from him? Or can you take him out before it's too late? Can you make it out alive? We play to find out. So we're going to rescue the actual commander of the Legion. Maybe we're going to kill him.
Which we could lose.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so the commander has been captured and taken far beyond enemy lines. This isn't even on the map anywhere near it. We're in
territory.
In the Darklands now, and we're going into we're going into a dark, cursed castle where this commander is being interrogated, and we're running against the clock to get him out. Okay, what kind of load are we looking at? Everyone goes light, right?
I think this does not sound like a light load situation, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
In my brain, I'm leaning towards normal because I feel like we wouldn't have had a lot of time to prepare for this. So this is like, we found this out, we need to deal with it now. Let's go.
Also, it's up to everyone individually as well. Yep, go Hannah.
Oh, right, in which case I'll be going with normal, because then I get the quiet, fast movement benefit. That's my heritage thing.
I'm also thinking of going normal, but can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Cause obviously if you take normal, you get everything on the light load items as well.
Yep.
One of mine is the Mark of the Healing Goddess, and it says, those physicians who take this oath, seek no harm to any person, turn away no patient, give mercy to those that can't be saved. I'm assuming that does not apply to undead monstrosities. It says, seek no harm to any person.
No, that part, definitely not. But I think the mercy does. I think the mercy is probably one of the things which, because it's very clearly defined that Shreya, being the embodiment, is especially angry about the fact that undead cannot have the mercy of death, even. So I think that probably applies that you would like to kill the undead to let them rest.
Let them move on.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that. And it says as a description for that you have like a mark of like two sort of wings on you. So I'm going to say my character sort of has them like sort of tattooed on his forehead or something like that.
Yep. Nice.
So, in mine it has like fine long rifle has black shot and ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I have that amount of ammo just by default? And then,
Let me look at your thing.
Then if I take the utility, does that give me more black shot? That makes sense.
Let me look at your thingy. So you are a sniper.
Mhm.
You get... Okay, so looking at your sheet here, you get ammo. Yeah, so you do get both black shot and ammo, and what that means is each ammo is you spend one of those 5 uses to reload your whatever you might be using. So each ammo means you get to reload your whatever your gun is once. And then black shot, which was mentioned in the pitch of the mission, this is the sort of actual silver bullet type deal against the undead. Black shot is specifically prepared rounds that destroy lesser undead on touch. So black shot is the one that you break out when there's the monstrosity and you're, fuck, need to try and destroy that immediately. That's what you use black shot for.
So I'd have 3 black shot rounds basically at the beginning. But I can take more. Okay. Because the utility has got like 2 black shot things together. So it's like, does that mean it doubles the amount? I was just kind of working out what that would mean.
Yeah, I think it is per tick. I think you get 3.
Right, cool.
Let's see if the thing... No, it doesn't do anything. No.
It doesn't do anything, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to say for now it's 3 per tick. I think I read that somewhere anyway.
Okay, I'll go with that assumption for now. If it changes, we'll...
Yep. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So I could take extra ammo.
Oh, yeah. Because for a light load, you already get the black shot, and it's there. But if you want extra black shot for your utility, you need to spend 2 to get 3 extra. That's how it works.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So I have to spend 2 to get it.
Yeah, if you want the extra black shot.
So we have to pick the items before the mission now, rather than like with the Scum of Villainy where we just pick stuff on the fly as we needed it.
I don't think so. You get some stuff as you go. Rather, you get some stuff to begin with, which is the normal, light, or heavy, and then I think for the utility, you just as you go, you pull them out from your ass.
Cool.
Or utility belt. I'm just gonna try and confirm that, but I think that's the way it works.
It says all equipment must be selected before the mission.
Yeah, I was literally just reading that. Yeah, so you need to pick everything before you go.
Okay, well, obviously, aside from the normal load stuff, I've gone for a hand weapon, and then I'm torn between taking oil or supplies. It says supplies you can spend to feed a legionnaire for a day.
Mhm.
But I'm tempted to go for the oil, because obviously we're hoping that this isn't going to turn into some massive lengthy mission.
I've gone for black shot because we're deep behind enemy lines, and chances of undead are 99%.
What sort of time of year are we in? 'Cause I'm
That
wondering.
was the reason I also was going to go for black shot, but we do kind of need some supplies as well, don't we?
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
in summertime.
Okay, in which I'll take the supplies then, because I'm like not a very combaty person anyway. So.
Okay.
I don't eat. I survive on victory.
I survive on medicine alone.
God, you bought that bread though.
Yep. Okay, I think we're probably all equipped then. Everyone's checked their boxes.
Yep.
Yep, good.
There's no point in me taking any crimson shot at this stage. I can't fire it.
Yeah, you just carry it around. Like, oh, I wish I could.
One day.
Yeah. One day you get to shoot your enemy with your blood. Okay. I think then we're gonna start rolling.
It'd be so funny if it's a TPK in the very first mission.
Yeah. So all you died and the commander has joined the enemy. So we're gonna start.
That'd be when you have
Right.
this is like, so Blades in the Dark next week, yeah?
No, it's like we cut back to the Legion, and then the Legion concludes we lost them, so we're gonna start by picking a new commander.
No, the Chosen would make it back, I think. Just be like, they were weak.
Oh yeah, the Chosen, and the Chosen isn't. I'll get to that right now because we're gonna start. So we are behind enemy lines. We're trying to rescue the commander before they get turned. We might just kill them as well. Like if the commander has been turned, then that might be the option. But oh, also, I guess you could have chosen like soldiers or rookies, but let's go with the fucking legionnaires that we have now. Okay, so we start. Rain and thunder is punctuated by the howls of the undead above. The rainwater exits the drainage pipe. Your chosen, Zora, will lead an assault at the main gates as a distraction. This is a stealth and speed mission. Get in, get the commander, get out. Whatever you do, don't let the undead learn the Legion's secrets. Do not fail. So there's the mountain crag. There's the lightning blasting in the background, ominously. Just pouring rain down. Zora is up there at the main gates. You can probably see, as you bend down to go into the drainage pipe, you can probably see her like raise up her hilt, and then you can see the living flame blade like spring up into existence, and you can probably hear her war cries as she like charges the gate. So there's some Legion friends that you have and Zora who are at the gate taking the undead head on as a distraction for you to get in through this drainage pipe, get into the castle, and then get the commander out. Okay. So we have a couple of clocks here to represent what all of this means. So we have an 8-segment clock. Yeah, that's on the. Do you see on the map? There is a token. Yep. Okay. Yep. You can see it. I'm gonna enlarge it a bit. No, actually, we're not gonna use that. No. We're gonna instead use this. Yeah. Cool. And then we're going to use this.
Where is it on the map?
In the middle, under Westlake and Eastlake. Can you see them?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was just like, whoa, looking around.
So the 10-segment clock is for the commander's willpower to resist the interrogator. And then we have, for the 8-segment clock, we have the castle alert. I'll just have the clocks here where we can see them clearly. So there's a 10-segment clock for the commander's willpower to sustain him before you get to him. And there's an 8-segment clock, which when filled, will put the castle in high alert and they will know that you're trying to infiltrate. Oh, another clock, because we love clocks around here. This one is Zora and the Legion. So that is how long they can sustain the fight. Okay, so we start in a risky position. And we have just entered the sewers of this dark castle. It is awful. At the best of times, however, now it is being occupied by the undead. So you stand there in ancient sewage, feeling just the worst. Having just come in from the thunderstorm and the rain, you are already soaked and now stinking like 1,000 years of death, really.
I've been trying to use my cloak wrapped around my gun to try and keep it as dry as I can. Obviously, the shot doesn't want to get wet. I'm moving through skulkily.
All right. You move in to the sewers. There's a lot of different grates you pass through. Some of them are vertical. There's some horizontal that you climb up through, climb down through. You move up, you think, in summary. You start hearing in the sewers the padding of feet eventually. It is very dark here, obviously. But you do start hearing eventually, having progressed quite a bit into the sewers, there's some movement there, and it doesn't sound like rats. What do you do?
I think I'm going to be crouched close to the wall with like my hood pulled down. I've got like my fine pistol in my hand. You know, in case
Weapons ready. Front of the group. Stay cautious. Keep moving.
I imagine I'll be in the middle with a dead eye sort of like covering the rear and ready to like flank out
I'll be at the back.
Because I imagine, obviously, you guys will know that although I've got a pistol, I'm not really a warrior. I've mainly been brought along, you know. So if we can get the commander out and we need to sort of heal him up a bit to get him out, that's what I'm here for. But also, if he's too far gone, to give him mercy.
I'm moving as quietly as I can, like slightly braced. Like I said, I've got the cloak around the gun as best I can to keep it protected, and just the barrel sort of sticking out slightly. I'm moving down.
And given that you're using your long rifle, this is, you wouldn't want to be shooting here at all. This is all the wrong kind of place to be bringing that kind of weapon.
2 sticks are terrible down here.
Did we have any opportunity before we entered the castle? Because obviously it was once not occupied by undead, I presume. Do we have any opportunity to like research the castle, to like look at the layout or anything like that? You know, like...
You could make a roll for it.
Oh yeah.
First roll of the campaign. Go
Yeah,
for it, John.
the first roll period for this game. Yeah.
Inaugural roll.
Is it gonna be?
It's a 6.
It's gonna be good. Yep.
Oh, it comes up with even you did it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's
Do it.
like they keep.
This sheet's like,
Yeah. Brilliant. Yes. So with that, I'm gonna say you can have a sort of generic sketching of a Dar castle. Now, the Dar have passed as a civilization quite some time ago. That was because they did bad things, and Zora, among others, came in and destroyed them. But I think you probably looked at some like archaeology books and that kind of thing. So you have, let's say, you've taken a couple of pages which have the sort of generic observed Dar castle layouts, which might not apply, but you will have, let's say, you will have. You'll get for your the first roll that you do to navigate the castle, you're going to have a controlled position to make your way, because you know the sort of
so I'm assuming for like the flavour, like if there's any sort of standard like dungeons or anywhere they might be holding someone like that for interrogation, I'll be sort of like with like the map I've like memorised, or maybe like I've got like a folded up sketch map. I'll be trying to like direct the guys roughly in the sort of squad in roughly the direction I think we should be heading.
Right.
All of the sounds of screams.
Yeah. So you hear their sounds of life. Everything is pitch black in here. So it is, and the obviously it's the sewers, and they're decrepit and built on a crag mountain. So it is very hard going, and it's not. There's, like I said, it's it's still Viper on the Zoom call here. So with our Deadeye,
Change it, all right.
yeah, with Deadeye, there's really poor sight lines to shoot. The sewers are cramped. Fighting here would be difficult. You're wading in this awful muck of centuries, and you can't really see or tell where exactly, if there's undead down here, where they would be, but you can listen for the sounds, obviously. So that's your one mean of trying to locate them. So Theonin, let's get a roll going. If you're leading, obviously we know that Grey Standing Cliff is being the point for your entry, but Theonin, you're making the calls whether to turn or not. So please give us a roll to get to the dungeons.
So I imagine as we go, and I'll say, Cliff, do you want me to? I've got some oil with me. Do you want me to light a torch? It'll make it easier to spot us, though.
I'd rather stay in the dark as long as we can find our way.
Okay, well, I think we need to head down here. So I presume it's. Would you prefer research or manoeuvre? I've got the same rank for each of them. So.
Yeah, both sound good. So.
Okay, I'll go with research just purely because I'm using the maps that we've got, etc.
Yeah.
I should remind you as well. I have my mechanical eye thing, or construct eye, so I can see invisible things and identify supernatural forces. So I might be able to see a zombie, like in the dark.
Yeah. It's just you don't. There's no field that you can look at and be like, there on the left. No. Okay, so partial success. Good. I'm gonna say you do it, which means you come up from the sewers, because the dungeons, the cells are not going to be in the sewers. So you come up, having passed whatever's down there, safely. However, you do leave a scent, which means that we're going to tick your castle alert clock by 2, unless you want to resist that.
Yeah, I'm going to make a roll to resist that, so to be insight, because I used research.
Yeah.
So, no bonus dice. That's a 4. So, 2 stress.
Yep, 2 stress. Okay, so you make it up from the sewers into the actual castle itself, like the bowels of the castle. So you wanted to go and check the dungeon wing, right?
Yeah, so like the secure areas where I think they might be holding someone for interrogation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, obviously the castle is going to have a dungeon. However, might not be there. Who knows?
I think that's a good place to start there, since we're sort of like nearer to that level. So start there, and then if we need to, like, work our way up.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so you head into the dungeons themselves, and let me refer to my stuff here. Okay, yeah. So you go into the dungeons, and you are greeted by groans from several of these cells, which have solid, rusted, ancient iron doors barring the way. No windows of any kind, but you can hear through these doors wailing and moaning in several of the cells.
At this point, I think, sort of given like my healer's oath, I'm going to turn to others and say, we've got to help these people. We can't just leave them here. I know we're on a mission, but if we allow these people to be killed by these creatures, what were we fighting for in the first place?
You're not wrong.
At the very least, if we can't help them, we can at least save them from coming back.
The mission was to get the commander. They do not hold the secrets of the Legion. Need to be decisive here.
But they're still people. God damn it! Well, we can't just leave them here.
Theonin, if we can come out this way. We can't take them in there with us. They're in no state to help us.
Agreed. We'll only cause more trouble, and we'll let the...
We will return this way.
I'm sorry if I'm causing you trouble, but I swore an oath to the healing goddess that I would never turn away from someone who required my aid. I can't turn away from these people now.
You're not turning away. You're taking the sensible route.
But we don't know if we'll be able to come back. Who knows what? And if we don't come back, who knows what tortures these poor wretches will undergo? They might even be denied the peace of death itself.
The longer we stand here arguing, the longer they're stuck there. We need to move. And I'm gonna sort of
Can't help them
push
if the Legion falls.
which direction's the commander in.
One of these could be the commander. We don't know. We need to look inside anyway. All I'm saying is that if we find people in there, we need to help them, or at least give them the mercy of a quick death. We have to look in here
Absolutely
anyway.
Agreed. Then let's go.
Okay, one of you will need to get these doors open.
That'd be me then, wouldn't it? Would that be a wrecking maneuver or a prowess maneuver?
Wreck sounds great if you're breaking down these rusted-ass ancient doors.
What about this anchor thing?
Okay, so anchor is... let me get my...
Second.
Yeah. Okay, anchor... Here we go. So when you anchor, you use your size and training to clash with more numerous or far superior foes. Anchor is the specialist action for the heavies. Each anchor use allows you to fight as a small group. Basically what that means is you are scaling up to be a group of people, whatever it is that they're doing.
No problems. So that's not really applicable here. So it'll be rec. So how do I make this automatic dice rolly thingy work? Where's the button?
You press rec on your sheet, the word, and then it will ask you if there's extra dice anywhere you're getting, and then if you just click OK on that, it will proceed.
What's the position?
It is risky. All right. Yeah. So you can break down. So you're going to these doors and smashing them. Go to the second door, smash it. Is that what we're going for here? Just open these cells. Okay. Okay. So you bust however many of these you want open. Inside, you'll find these starved, dressed in. Some of them are dressed in pretty okay clothing. Some of them look like they've been here for a bit, in rags, basically. The other ones maybe with like sort of peasant clothing that's seen better days, but the other ones have obviously been here longer with the like wild hair and that kind of thing. You find, let's say, a dozen what seem to be fairly malnourished people in various states of distress and harm, really.
Does it, to my sort of like medic's eyes, does it look like if we free these people, they've got a chance of surviving? Does it look like they've too far gone?
No, there's maybe, I don't know, like an old dude, like a grandpa type figure who, like if he gets much thinner, you're not going to be able to see him when it turns sideways.
Because I think if there's any people who like obviously have no chance to survive, or my aim will be to like, put them out of their misery quickly and as painlessly as possible. But anyone who can survive, my aim will be to free them and then sort of point them back down the sewer tunnel like the way we've gone.
Just point for the game here. If we do put these people out of their misery, is that not providing the enemy with a soldier? Have we got a method of doing that doesn't allow the enemy to then bring their corpse right back?
I'm assuming like cut their heads off.
I think not as such, not yet at least. I haven't delved into all the possible stuff that you could have, but not at the moment.
For the moment, then, can I suggest that we send these guys on their way if none of them's the commander?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Any people who are going to survive, free them and say...
dispatching anyone.
No, I was going to say, free them, point them down the sewer tunnel that we came in and just tell them to get as far away from here as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Tell them there's an attack on the main gates, to steer clear of there and just to like get while the going's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. So, these basically ragged peasants and travelers are released from the cells. They head on down below the dungeons. And the consequence there is going to be, again, 2 ticks on the castle alert clock, because you're literally bashing doors down in the cells. So unless you resist that.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Is that the thing that...
It's one of the clocks. I can't resist it. I've already got like 2 of my 6 stress ticked.
Yeah, and it's grey standing cliff.
Yeah.
That's
okay, so I resist it then.
Okay.
So you click on your prowess.
All right, so it costs you 1 stress. Alrighty then. To Matthew from the chat. I think you would know the commander personally. All right, so you've gone through the dungeon wing, haven't found the commander.
Okay, I think it's going to be a case of sort of like say slowly working our way up the levels,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like prioritizing any sort of areas that we think could be sort of secure enough to like hold someone.
Mm-hmm. And as you come up from the dungeon levels into the castle proper, you will start spotting patrols. This is quite heavily, well, densely inhabited, rather, by the undead. So you do see these groups of the Walking Dead shambling about as you enter, like come up from the dungeons and take a peek around some corners. You spot these patrols inside
Try
the
and
castle.
avoid them as much as possible.
Yep. So as you continue your search for the commander, whoever is doing the leading bit, please give me a roll to avoid the patrols inside the castle.
It's Cliff then, isn't it?
That'd be a prowess sort of a thing.
Yeah, something under prowess.
Yeah,
Prowess is the resistance thing.
Probably maneuver.
Maneuver sounds great. Again, it's the same deal as it was with Scum and Villainy. You can pick, however, if you're trying to convince someone of something and you try to use maneuver, probably not going to be a great job.
And I'd assume we're risky again.
Yeah, for now it's risky.
Boom.
It's just cruising on through. Yeah, you do it.
I can't actually see the dice rolls. I can't see where they're coming up, but I'll trust you.
Yeah, it's a 6, so
Well,
that's good. You do it.
1 second.
Yep. Okay, so I will make a roll, I think, for how the battle outside is going. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm checking a bunch of stuff here. Let's see, Zora. And we're gonna make a roll here. Oh yeah, right.
Great.
Yeah, we'll see. Right now. So
She's the most fiercest warrior I've ever seen. Maybe not.
She has the greatest publicist I've ever seen.
So that is for Zora and the Legion. What that means is
She's getting real out there.
Looks like someone got too close to the flame.
I like to think that Deadeye was chosen for this mission because if the commander needs to be shot, it has to be someone who's willing to do it.
Yeah. I will just use the same results for both of these because it's essentially the enemies
Mhm.
doing the thing. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, so 2 ticks on both, and then
Can-
because I had completely blanked out on that, I should have rolled previously as well, so I'm going to roll again. So this is you. The first one was you advancing through the sewers up into the dungeons, and then the second one is for you advancing through the castle itself. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, that's yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're gonna do. There's a bunch of new stuff. Like things are derived from different places now, which I have a little trouble remembering because there's a bunch of it now. Whereas previously I had all the Scum and Villainy things memorized. So yeah, instead what is going to happen is, so Zora and the Legion get 3 ticks because there was that 4, which is a kind of success, and the second one is just an abject failure, which means they get 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks. So something's going down at the gate, which you don't see, but it's not going great for Zora and the Legion. They will have to. The thing here is they're not going to do a suicide mission. This is a distraction only. So when things get dire, they will back out. That's the plan. So they're close to that point outside. And yeah, for the commander though.
I know the commander has at least 6 dies in resistance rolls.
I'm just gonna go with this now. Okay, good. So you dodge the patrols of the undead, shambling, rotting bodies. Really, you've come upon several different kinds. These seem fairly baseline. It's bodies in various states of decomposition, shambling about the castle. Some of them wearing whatever armaments they had in life, that kind of
They
thing.
don't seem to have much initiative on their own. So
No,
we can
not much
hopefully-
at all. They work these routes, you think, and that allows you to bypass them as you go.
I'm using like a bit of chalk or maybe like a little bit of stone sand I got somewhere. I'm just marking off as we go places, just so we can backtrack quickly.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. All right. So you do arrive eventually at this. It is a room in the castle itself. Specifically, seems like set for this interrogation mission. You find the commander there. This is you like peeking in from the outside, looking in through windows, whatever. You've gained this knowledge. This is the room. You found the room. You found the commander. However, there is a red-hooded, pale inquisitor inside the room with him, and there are 2 black flame containing cinder guards. These are dark metal armor wearing creatures, maybe once humans, now suffused with seemingly a black flame, which sort of like leaks out from the helmet orifices. A fairly horrifying sight, to be sure. So the Inquisitor is being flanked by these, or rather, being kept under guard by these 2 cinder guards, which, to be fair, look absolutely terrifying. And I don't think you've fought any of these. You might have heard stories about this, and this is kind of like the personal guard of the Cinder King type deal. The Inquisitor, maybe not so much, even though like he looks unpleasant as well. But the Cinder Guards are immediately to you the big threat in there.
Right. So
You can you can see the commander strapped to what seems to be like an ancient throne. Like they've hauled the throne of this castle here, and they've put the commander on that throne and bound him in similar black chains to it. And the Inquisitor has obviously applied various horrifying flaying techniques and everything else to the commander, but the commander is holding. He's all beat up, or she. We don't actually know yet what the commander is, which sort of heritage they have, and that kind of thing. But they're all bloody. It's a bloody mess, the commander now.
Right. Given that we've sort of seen all of this, and obviously Deadeye and Cliff are the main sort of tactical / combat duo of this group. I'm the medic. I'm going to look at them for guidance as to how to proceed next. Obviously, these two big armoured guards and this Inquisitor. We've got to get in there and stop them quickly, but I'm not really sort of sure of the best way of doing that. But I'm like, we've got to get to him and like the commander. But I'm like looking at you two.
What are the commander's chances of walking out of here right now? I'm
going to peer through and I'm going to see if I can like make a very, obviously you said he's been like horribly tortured, but I'm going to try and make a very rough like assessment of like what I think his conditions and his likelihood of survival are going to be.
I didn't ask you about survival. I asked you if he could walk out of here or not.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. You think? Yeah.
So I'll give you like the thumbs up.
That does make this a lot more difficult for us. Okay.
No one said war was easy.
So, Deadeye, do you think you can hit the Inquisitor?
Yeah.
They're not particularly keeping watch because they're not expecting anyone to be inside because your alert clock is entirely clear. They don't have a clue.
I'm going to suggest since we know that Cliff can like effectively like fight as a unit on her own, that you rush in and take on the two guards. Deadeye shoots the Inquisitor like before you rush in. When the guards are like, you rush in and take them on, then me and Deadeye can quickly like grab the commander, and then we can make a fighting withdrawal.
A direct assault is going to get messy, though. We have to be prepared to move quick.
Well, yeah, but we'll...
Yes, I'm suggesting Deadeye, you take one shot, do as much damage as you can with that one shot. I will go in and draw attention. The two of you get the commander.
Okay, so first things first.
Get out.
So
if
first...
I can, I'll...
Okay, so first things first, Deadeye needs to take his shot at the Inquisitor.
So I'm like, almost with a shake, like a hand shaking slightly, then I sort of, you do the whole fist it up, calm myself, reach in, get the black shot out, in it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Switching over to black shot.
Yep. So black shot comes in, like each shot. That's why it takes so much space. Each shot comes in a specific container. It's a wooden small box filled with things to make it stay in place. Because it's volatile, it's specifically wrapped in like protective materials and whatnot, and so you get one of these like containers and you pop the black shot out, in it goes. What are you using to shoot?
My fine long rifle.
Good. So fine gives you more effect. Really? So.
Yeah.
You're going to line up a shot, and the Inquisitor is there, probably picking up some kind of crude Renaissance / Victorian era injection device, which drips some unholy liquids.
I'm gonna have my fine pistol out as well. So like, if worst comes to the worst, and I know it seems impossible, but somehow like Deadeye like misses his shot, I'm gonna basically be able to like snap off like a pistol shot at the same target. If not, I'll just fire at one of the armoured people before Cliff runs in, because why not?
Yeah.
I'm also gonna use a use of aim to increase the effect.
Okay.
I'm trying to take this down in a single hit if I can.
Yeah. So the Inquisitor is threat level 2, which you are as well, given that you're using your fine long rifle. Fine is the keyword, so you are 1 the fine increases you by 1, so you're on the level. So your effect is standard to begin with. Now, black shot is that. Let me look at the detail. Black shot. Yeah, a mere graze kills lesser undead, grants potency against undead. Don't shake.
Nice.
Yeah, so it grants you potency, and that means you're already doing standard effect. Potency grants you great effect. If you want, you can spend your aim to increase it to extreme effect, which is just annihilation for this Inquisitor.
That's
there
what
will
I
be
want.
no Inquisitor left.
Whatever comes after the shot, I don't want that thing to be alive to then fight us. I want to deal with this guy, let Cliff do what he does, or she does, and then get the commander out of here. Just take it out.
Yep.
All or nothing.
Yep. So roll your roll. The Inquisitor is raising this brass contraption, leaking some awful stuff.
Just to check before you make this very important roll, can you push yourself in this system?
Yes.
Can you spend stress? Yeah.
Yes.
spend
Yes.
stress.
You can push yourself, or you can take devil's bargains to get more dice or more effect.
I'm gonna push it.
Yep,
Too
so-
stress.
2 stress, and you can. Are you taking a die?
Yes, I'm just taking a die.
Yeah.
But my effect is pretty much.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm like, are you bringing down the castle?
It ricochets around everywhere.
I
Okay.
shook the castle, sir. That's what happened.
Bonus die. I get an extra die. Huh! Okay.
Yep.
5's good. 5's all right.
Also, you don't roll with your aim. So if you're using aim, you just
Oh
do it,
shit! Yeah,
and
sorry.
then you use shoot instead. So
yeah,
do you have
okay.
3 in shoot?
No, I have two.
Or
I have
rather
the same amount.
2.
I have
Yeah,
two
yeah,
more by
yeah,
the bonus die.
yeah. Yeah, so we'll go with that then. So, yeah, you do it. The Inquisitor is. I think
And wait
it's-
until he says something like, "It will just be a moment before we break you."
yeah, I think there's probably a raspy voice. Just
Yeah.
like wheezes out something to the tune of like, "It is useless to resist. Just give in, and it will all be." And then
I imagine Deadeye's like, it's
Yeah.
just been revoked.
the frail frame of the Inquisitor just gibbets. And there's just tossed by the force of the shot into the wall, just breaks into pieces really with the force of the thing. And this is kind of up to us to decide. It's kind of hinted that it's an explosive thing. So are we treating it as there's something that reacts violently when it comes into contact with undead, and it's just like blows them up? Or is it a case of like you shoot them and then it hits and it starts burning and they die, or something else?
I think
I'm
it
thinking
changed-
Lost Boys style. It depends on the villain, and you get to make
Yeah.
it up
Okay.
as you go along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good,
It
good.
depends on the
Unique
level of
to
threat.
each monster.
I think for this guy,
Exactly
it's
what I was thinking.
just ragdolled and into pieces on the wall. So it's
Yeah.
like blown away, yanked off the stage.
I'm seeing like the Buffy vampire thing that like explode into dust and like.
Yeah. So, and then the contraption's just like on the floor.
I'm like, Cliff, you're up. I'm reload, and I'm just
Oh,
already starting to reload.
The guards have fallen to pieces, so we just
No, it's the Inquisitor. The
Oh.
guards turn around.
I'm going to be running in. Don't be shouting at me, Deadeye, because the point was for them to not know you two were there, because I'm running in guns blazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Packing a shot in.
so-
Go on, get in.
I also have black shots
Hmm.
and a fine heavy weapon.
Okay. A heavy weapon is a two-handed melee thing.
Oh,
Do you
right,
have
okay.
Do you have a pistol or a rifle?
No, because I assumed that
Yeah.
a weapon was a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, you
so
can rejig
that
your
rather
stuff.
makes the black shot a bit pointless. Hang on a sec. I have a flare gun. Can I put black shot in that?
You cannot, but it does something else. Let me look it
I
up.
would love that.
Flare gun, flare gun, flare gun.
You ever played Alan Wake? Flare guns are extremely
Yeah, Alan Wake is a great game.
I don't actually seem to have an option for a gun other than the flare gun.
Cliff's like, this
So
is why they call
what
me
is
Rick.
the point of the black shot?
Well, someone could give you a gun, I guess. Or you could get
Well,
it
well
from...
to be fair, if you're desperate to fire a gun, I've got a fine pistol. There you go. Because I'm not going to be using it when I'm running in and like slapping the band-aids on.
Yeah, so a flare gun is just that. It's a break action pistol with colored smoke charges and burning flares.
There you go. Have a fine pistol.
Yeah, in which case I'll take the medic's pistol as we're going in through the door, and shoot at it with the black shot.
Okay. Yeah, so you barge in with this fine pistol and you shoot one of them with the...
We're hoping Cliff
And
can tie
my
them
main aim
both up.
here is to get their eye line away from this door and away from the commander.
And me and Deadeye also
Look
move
at
in, and we're going to
me.
get the command, try and get the commander.
Yep, so you have a fine pistol, you're threat 2. These guys are threat 3, so you'll be doing limited effects. And you get your black shot, which gives you potency, which would give you standard effect. However, these guys are also potent, so you're back down to limited effect.
Oh dear.
So this is bad news. Cinder guards, bad times. So yeah, you can roll. I think we're on to the desperate stuff now because shit is kicking off and we're doing a lot of noise. Yeah, John.
Does Cliff's ability to like fight as a unit against like a small group have any effect here?
That would be potency as well. No, that would be scale. You could get standard effect with that if you used your anchor stuff.
Sounds like it's time to use the anchor stuff then.
Yeah. So if you use one of your 2 anchor uses, and you barge in with the black shot, you can do desperate roll for whatever it is you're rolling, and then standard effect.
Now, do I have to roll anchor when I'm using anchor?
No, you just roll whatever it is that
Okay.
you're doing, the other thing.
Yeah. Although I am shooting, I'm more trying to like sort of control the combat here and like bring them to me and stuff. So can I use skirmish here?
Probably. I am looking up what that means, but it sounds like the thing. Maneuver also sounds great for this. Let's see.
I'm basically just being big and loud and fighty,
Yeah.
which sounds pretty skirmish to me.
Yep. Skirmish. You engage in close combat with hostile opponent. You do. Yeah. So you barge in with the pistol and you
Yeah.
skirmish these guys.
We're just gonna give it to you.
Cliff X.
I'm Cliff, and you're about to go over the edge.
Off the edge.
So was that desperate skirmish?
Yeah. Yep. With standard effect. If you're using your black shot. Okay. Yeah. So I think you blow one of the cinder guards away with that, and the consequence is the other one is gonna lay into you as a result. So that would be 3 harm coming your way.
Hang on a sec. Can I spend an anchor as a special armor against consequences to a squad I'm defending? Surely I'm part of the squad I'm defending.
I think so. Let's see.
So I can just
I'm looking
spend
at-
my other anchor point to avoid the consequences.
I'm reading
Or
the
resist the
examples.
consequences, sorry.
Yeah, I guess it would work because
That
you're
seems to be what that power's for.
yeah. So what does it do? Oh, you have do you have a specific the bulwark thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Resist special armor. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's look that bit up. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of looking stuff up because this is a bit
No, it's
different.
so good.
Yeah.
It's a session 1.
Yeah.
None of us know the rules properly.
Special armor. I'm just checking if there's anything that is too different from it. I know what armor does, but special armor. Let's go to stability. Okay. Okay, and it says special. Okay, so it doesn't specifically say that what happens. It says you can use it as special armor, which is a thing on it in and of itself. I was just checking for any extra on top of that. So yeah, we're gonna say So it's 3 incoming harm your way. You can use your anchor thing, which reduces it to 2. Which then, if you want, you can resist. Or do you have armor on?
I do have armor as well.
Yeah, do you have heavy armor? Or does that come with the... Yeah, you don't... Do you?
Fitted heavy plates.
Okay. So if you want, you can just tag all your armor stuff and have this bounce off.
All right, no problem then.
Yeah. So you use up your anchor and your heavy armor, both of your armor things. Basically, you use up all your armor stuff, and the Cinder Guard brings this axe your way and just like pummels you relentlessly with it's. You imagine that this is the kind of strength that maybe like an industrial machine in ore would be able to produce, like this pneumatic machine that they have back there. Just like piston like just like slams you and you stagger back under this assault. But your armor takes the brunt of it, but it's it cannot take any more.
As long as he's looking at me and not at them, that's fine.
Yeah. So inside Theonin and Deadeye, you can see Cliff charges in with the shield and the pistol. I presume you have a shield. Anyway, so you see Cliff close range blast the black shot into one of the Cinder Guards, falls into pieces, like the armor just clatters around the floor. You don't know if there was anyone inside that armor, but there's the other Cinder Guard is driving Cliff back with relentless slamming of the axe, and Cliff looks to be holding their own, but probably not for a sustained period of time.
So I'm just going to say, I'm like, did I get these chains off the commander, and then I'm going to use one of my my doctor uses to allow the commander to like ignore wound penalties. So basically, just like while Deadeye's sorting out the chains, just like patch him up enough so that the commander can move and we can get him out.
Yep. Right. Yeah, it's not difficult to do that. So Deadeye, you go in there, you open the chains, and the commander is all delirious, and you bring them about a little bit with your restoratives, whatever those might be, your tonics.
Like waving like some smelling salts under his nose and like quickly bandaging and binding up the worst of his wounds.
Yep. And then presumably you're trying to like just get them out of there.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the commander's shoulder, so arm over my shoulder, and start helping him out. And then I'm just going to be like, Deadeye, help Cliff with that. Because obviously he's got a gun I don't have anymore, and I'm going to concentrate on getting the commander out of the room.
I'll get I'll get the blades. The blades. I'll get the chains off of the commander. Then I'm going to spin round. I loaded my black shot as they were walking in, so I've got the second shot ready. Spin round, and I'm going to brace to fire at one of these guards. Hopefully,
Yeah, there's only the one left.
one left.
Yep.
Do I use? Yes, I'm going to use my second aim.
Okay, so let's
I'm just
see.
gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
Your effect is, well, your threat anyway. Your threat 1, your rifle gives you another one.
Yeah.
Your black shot gives you potency against the Cinder Guard.
Yep.
Which puts you on an even level with the Cinder Guard's threat 3. However, the Cinder Guard also has potency. So you're
Vavu.
you're down to limited. But if you're using your aim, you're back down to standard.
Yeah, I'm going to use my aim.
Yeah, basically, like if you pour in all of your resources, you have a shot at this guy.
Yeah. I'm not going to push myself this time, though. I'm saving that for getting us out.
Yeah, exit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So the Cinder Guard just driving Cliff into a corner now, and Cliff's just like doing all they can, just like bouncing the swings off.
Is it desperate, Rian? Still?
Yeah, we're in desperate territory. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's important because that means if I resist a effect, then
it will help you.
Dies.
Yeah, because you're bold.
Well, yep. I succeed with a 5.
With a 5. Okay.
I kind of do it like I kind of as Theron's moving. I'm sort of getting between him and the creatures, and opposite where Cliff is. So I'm sort of covering them. Pop. Hopefully.
We still get XP for doing rolls on desperate.
Yeah, I do think so. It should say on your sheet, just to check.
Yeah, we do. I checked it earlier.
Yeah.
Is it? Where does it say that?
It's down at the bottom in the advancement bit. Every time you roll a desperate action, mark XP, and that action's attribute.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. You put it in the clock, right?
Yeah. So,
You get XP for surviving. Wicked.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you shoot the Cinder Guard and you do destroy it because you're using a black shot. However, as it's dying, it spins around and flings the axe at you for 3 harm.
Oh, mother. Yeah, I'm gonna resist it.
Yep.
Resist it. I pick a. Do I pick my lowest or do I just pick?
Did you take any armor, Matthew?
Yeah. Do you have armor on you?
Where would armor be if I have? Is it on my load?
Load. Yeah.
No, I don't think I get any armor.
Yep.
Oh, I get fine armor. Sorry, I get fine armor. Thank God. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you check that off, it will be down to 2 harm.
Yes.
And then I'm going to say if you resist it, you'll go down to 1 harm.
Yes. Okay. Armor. Resist. Yes. And prowess to resist.
Yeah, that sounds good because it's an axe coming for your head. So.
Yeah, and I get a bonus die because of my heritage trait.
Yeah, because you're bold. Huh?
Yes, I am. So
yeah,
take
1 stress.
Stress.
Yeah. So you sidestep the swinging axe, and it clatters on the floor. And Cliff.
I still take a level 1 harm though.
Yeah, level 1 harm and 1 stress from that.
That's fine. Since he was like between me and the thing, I'm basically just gonna like slap like a fucking bandage or like a patch on his 1 harm, and I'm gonna use one of my tonics to allow him to like ignore that.
Yep.
You don't need to, mate. I'm tough. I ignore level 1 harm effects.
All right, sweet. I won't bother.
Yeah. Tough and bold.
I can see why. I can see why we get on well because you conserve my medical supplies.
That's why they picked me for this mission. Right? They thought he can get in and he can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, let's go.
Yep. So, Cliff,
Get outta
you
here.
get absolutely covered in black ash as the Cinder Guard disintegrates, just consumed from within by this black flame, and the black pieces of armor clatter this way and that, and you're just like hot air and black ash is just like blasting at you. Okay, we're going back into the dungeons, and away we go. We're going, as the
Get outta
great
here.
sage has said, we're going deeper underground.
There's too
And
much panic in this town, man.
yeah, we yeah, let's make someone lead us back down with a roll.
Do you want me to roll it since I'm leading the commander out?
Yeah, I'm reloading my
Yeah,
black
you're
shield
going to
at the
be at
moment.
the front of the group now,
Okay.
just because you're moving first, and also you're the one that knew the floor plans best.
It's a 6.
Yep,
Good lad.
you definitely do it.
Glad I memorised them maps before we came on this damn mission.
Yeah.
Come on, commander, we gotta go. Come on.
Get outta
You can
here.
make
Get
it.
out of here.
Oh no, yeah. So as you get out from the drainage pipe, you can see Zora and the Legion no longer there. Undead swarming out the gate after them.
I hope those prisoners got out okay.
They're gone. The commander's will doesn't matter anymore because you saved him. The castle alert, that's fine as well. So
I assume
we-
I assume we arrange like a rendezvous point that we'll like meet up.
yeah, you have a plan for this kind of thing. So you can see that, yep, their distraction is no longer there. Undead swarming out the castle down the mountain pass, and there's these villagers, peasants, travelers, people just randomly kidnapped from all over the place who are being brought here. So they wait for you rather at the end of the drainage pipe. There's still the thunderstorm going outside. They didn't want to go there yet. They're just sort of huddling at the end of the drainage pipe.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, quickly follow us, and then we'll try and lead them to the rendezvous point as well, because we can't just leave them there to be picked off by these undead.
Yep. And yeah, as you maneuver through the mountain pass, Deadeye, give me. I know that this isn't really. Yeah, let's. Deadeye, resist is what we are going to do. Resist subterfuge and deception and maliciousness, ill intent, with I think insight probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna scout my way through, try and find us a clear path.
No. You're resisting. You're.
Oh, insight. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Is this a desperate resist? A resist?
I think no, not necessarily, because you have you should be able to do this. So
Okay. Nope.
Oh no. So what was that eye thing? You can identify supernatural forces. Okay. Yeah. You do identify the supernatural force, but it's too late. You know where it is now, but they got the drop on you. However, you have clearly identified. You're leading these villagers down these like perilous mountain paths to be like out of the way of the main paths, because that's where the undead will be swarming.
That's where the bad
Yeah.
things are.
So you're going. This is the path to Korodoros, and you get jumped by the villagers, the starving people you're trying to save, and you can see with your what was it? Did you
Oh,
have
no.
His
that-
ultimate
it's
eye.
alchemical
Alchemical construct.
So your alchemically constructed prosthesis eye can see there's someone there that wasn't there before. You will realize now. There's a young
Extra
woman.
villager.
There's a young woman who is fully clothed in a like a humble robe. However, you can see at her side there's a sort of light shining through the clothes, which no one else can see, but you can see it. There's magic underneath there, clear as day, as she raises a hand, and her eyes go black, and the villagers zone out for like a half a second, and then start picking up rocks and start clobbering you, trying to toss you off the.
Guys, we've been compromised.
That's all right. They've got rocks. I've got oil.
Yeah. Yeah. So this, like the dozen villagers you're trying to lead away, they seemingly somehow maybe controlled by this, whatever this woman is, who has appeared on the scene, and they're all basically jumping you, and you've absolutely botched that roll.
Yep, it's always me.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do is everyone needs to resist, probably with prowess, if they want to do something to prevent themselves being tossed off into certain death down the mountain path.
So it's death or resist.
It's only a 2 for me.
Okay, so that's 4 stress.
That'll be my first
Would this
trauma
be
then.
against corruption?
Sorry.
Would this be against corruption?
No, I think in that case the language
No
is
worries.
you being corrupted. That would be the thing. Yep.
Right,
Yeah, these people have been.
So I've ticked my first trauma.
Yep. Okay, for Cliff, that's a 1 stress.
Does this count as a desperate action again for my resisting? Just for my...
No, there was no action yet. So.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Yep, 2 stress. Okay, so you are being swarmed by starved peasants. What do you do?
So I think with my my newly obsessive nature, I am going to be like, we've got to get the commander out of here. I'm going to, with like my free hand, I'm going to light one of my oil sort of canisters, which is supposed to be like highly flammable, and just like throw it into the middle of this group, hoping that even if it doesn't hit anyone specifically, obviously I'm aiming for the central point, like the person who's like.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it'll at least get us a distraction so we can like get out of here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
I was saying I had loaded my last, because I've got like 3 black shot in one pouch and 3 in another. I'd loaded the final of my third as we were moving out in case we. So I'm going to use that. I don't have any aim left, but I'm going to use that against the creature where I saw the light. So I don't know if dropping them will end the effect, but I'm hoping it may reduce this, whatever this magic is, this foul magic. Okay. Using my fine rifle, so I'm going to shoot. Okay. What, were you in a risky position still? Or?
We are. I think we're being desperate because it's literally the cliff face, and not to make a pun on Cliff's account, but yeah, I think because failure here is bad, is the thing.
Bracing myself. Come on, standard effect though.
You're shooting the woman with the lights under her clothes.
I'm using a fine gun.
I think she is undead, so you will have potency. So that would be a great effect. If you hit her, she will be destroyed.
Cool. Bonus dice, none for this one.
You don't though.
Oh, that is.
Oh no!
And I think as he misses, that's going to be when I'm going to throw my oil.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah.
It's down to
So
you, Cliff.
it's a case of, and I think the woman has like locked eyes with you because you've been staring at her with your alchemical eye, and she just sees you aiming and like dodges it as you go to fire. And your black shot like smashes into a cliff, and that's it for that. However, a desperate failure is real bad news. Okay, which I'm gonna just say that the witch, which she is, so the witch woman is going to hold up a hand as she just dodges and there's the like flask of oil, just like slow motion. But she holds up a hand, makes gestures with her fingers, and mouths just profanities. And when I say profanities, like something that is actually unpleasant to hear. You don't know the language, but it hurts. And in response, there's a boom in the sky as lightning crackles. And I think you lose consciousness. There's a curse that is laid upon you, which is too much for you to bear right now. So I'm going to say that's 3 harm, which is you need help to do anything.
All right.
And the fiction... Yeah, so that is the curse which you will have to deal with going forward. You will be permanently cursed until you deal with it. And you get 3 harm, so...
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you get a curse, and for now, you also get put on your ass, because the magic is just overpowering you. And, Theanin, do you have a thing in mind with the with the oil? As these two exchange...
Yeah, I'm just going to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, close as I can, and just literally light it and...
Yeah, okay. Let's get some kind of roll going here, because you're trying to murder this witch.
Can I resist this?
You can.
No, it's a 3. No dice.
Oh boy. No, it's okay. So what I'm going to say is
it's all going wrong. What
I'm going to say is the oil splatters the witch and also the ground where you were going to go. So this is you setting a fire in front of your path, and the witch is on the other side. She's also covered in oil, but she's managed to leap backwards before she got lit on fire. So she's there. In front of you, like between her and you, is the fire, and you're on this side fighting the villagers. And you can resist that, as Deadeye can resist the.
I will resist it.
Okay. I am going to resist. It's going to take me to my first trauma, but I'm going to resist it.
So that's 1 stress for me.
Yeah, 1. Yep.
I'm going to resist with prowess. Well, I do get my bonus die this time because it was a desperate thing.
I don't think you're resisting with your prowess. I think this is a resolve thing because it's magic. It's literally a curse on your soul.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that would be. I don't have any ranks in resolve at all.
Well, now.
Sucks to be you.
I think we're gonna look that up. Resistance. Here we go.
Because you don't. The build I went for doesn't have any resolve at all. Mm-hmm. Oh dear.
Okay.
Magic, guys, I don't recommend.
Yeah, magic, bad time. Yeah, I don't know if there's a minimum. Resistance roll.
Usually in previous games you roll 2 and take the worst result.
Yeah, that might be the thing.
But I do get a bonus dice because it's a...
Yeah, well then you have 1 die.
Then you have 1 die.
Yeah. So you roll just 1 normal. Yep. Good. It's good being bold.
Okay. Guys, we did so well, and then it's just that's.
Yeah, the sneak attack. That's bad times.
I get 1 bonus dice. Come on. 3.
Yeah, 3 stress.
Which takes me past my track. But so does the other carry on to the next track?
I think so. Yeah, that's how it works in Scum and Villainy. So.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 on this, and he's become cold.
Yep. So the curse still is laid, but I think it's a momentary haze where your one good eye is just occluded, and you're taken aback a bit, but you can shake it off. And for Tienen, yeah, you light a bit of the rock face on fire, but the oil is still there, usable. Just didn't work this time.
I think that bitch needs a flare to the face, don't you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's some oil there.
Don't forget,
which-
you've still got my gun as well, in case you want to use your black powder or whatever.
Yep. So
I'm thinking flare to the face first, since you've got her nice and oiled up already. Skirmish?
Pre-lubed.
yeah, sounds good. So you get your flare gun out. In goes the flare.
Woo!
Yeah. Just shooting Ric Flares at it. Yeah.
Desperate.
Yeah. It's desperation times. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, you do it. So you shoot the Shadow Witch, and yeah, the flare hits her, lights the oil on fire, and she's screaming. She falls on her knees, clutching at the burning flare, just getting more oil on her hands and burning. And she's just screaming at you, all of you, just on the top of her lungs, just like, I'm so sorry, ah, and like just turns to crisp on the spot.
Okay, that was somewhat unsettling. Are the villagers still trying to attack us?
Yeah, they're a bit more sluggish now, but they're still kind of trying to. But they're emaciated, feeble.
Yeah,
But,
I'm going to suggest we just push past them and make like a tree and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems like the plan.
Is
Okay.
is Deadeye suffering from any like harm or any sort of wound penalties at the minute?
I believe no, because he was successfully in resisting the curse, which would have been real bad news.
Cool. In which case, I suggest we run. So I'm going to be like, "Come on,
Come
we've got to get the commander to the rendezvous point."
Yep.
Yep.
Give me one last risky. Effect doesn't matter. Roll to shake your
All right, here we go then.
peasant foes.
Do you know what? I'm going to take some stress to get an extra dice. Why not?
Yeah, because it's not been great so far out here. The castle bit was the easy bit, but this.
It's a 4.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to say that's fine. Yeah, you do it as you do. However, I think. I think Theonin, you. One of them stabs you, and it's going to be level 1 harm. Do you even suffer that?
I will take it, but I'm going to slap on. I'm going to use my
Yeah, tonics.
my
Right.
first aid tonics to
Yeah. Ignore the penalty for now. Yeah, good. Yeah, so you get shivved by one of these with a prison shiv, undead prison shiv.
Yeah, I'm not even going to slow down. I'm just going to like push past him, probably with like the knife still sticking out of my arm.
Yeah.
Just like slap like a wrap a bandage around my arm as I'm running with the commander's arm still over my shoulder, and then just keep going.
Yep. And you leave them behind. They stumble about a bit on the narrow mountain path, kind of listless, and you disappear into the stormy, rainy, miserable night in these mountains behind enemy lines still, and you set on the long path back to camp because you're a long ways from even the front lines. So, but you successfully retrieved the commander. They weren't broken, they weren't converted, and you didn't die. Even if the peasants, that's the real nasty bit of this session. Yeah, so you get back to camp. Yay, mission successful.
Yeah, and I've still got 1 trauma before I'm out of it.
Still good. Yeah. I mean,
On the upside, though, I am like 1 XP away from filling my prowess clock.
yeah. Also, I think a little bit different from Scum and Villainy with desperate rolls, you can put the XP anywhere, I believe. So
That's fine. I'll just give it the prowess.
Yep. Okay, so that is it. We have completed the initial mission.
Woo! Child.
These characters are more snappy than previous ones we've played, which are quite. It shows.
Yep. So please take a look at the.
Force stress from dead.
Do you guys want to look at the leadership characters now, or do we do that next time? Being conscious of the time here.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
okay,
getting
super.
pretty late.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we can just do that next time because it's easy.
Yeah.
To start from that then. Yeah. Good. So you're gonna pick, each of you, one of the Legion leadership roles, Commander, Marshal, Quartermaster, next time, and we'll let's just pick them now, and then we'll deal with whatever that is next time, and I will talk to whoever is the commander because I need to talk to them about something. So, Commander decides when and how the Legion moves on the map, and also which missions we're gonna do. So that's what the commander does, and that is what you will do if you are the commander. Now, Marshal is the one who determines who goes on these missions, like which characters go to do a particular mission. And the Quartermaster is in charge of the Legion's resources and also hands out extra kit for whoever goes on missions, if they so choose.
Extra gubbins.
Yeah.
So I said I was torn between them, so I know which I'd prefer, but if anyone particularly wants one, I'm not going to stand in their way.
I don't have a strong preference, so.
For me, the one that I sort of I like the look of, is the Marshal. I think that'd be quite interesting. That's because I love playing the XCOM games and that sort of thing, so I love the idea of having to pick out the men for the mission.
Right, so you would handle the roster, basically, for the Legion.
But I mean, I'm not. If anyone wants particularly that, I'm not.
I'm happy for you to be the Marshal. Like I said, I've not got a strong preference, so.
I quite like the idea of Quartermaster.
Right, looks like I'm the commander then.
All right, good. So we have divided, and then we'll discuss about what that all means. And John, I will contact you about the future missions, because for next time I will need to have a mission, right?
Yeah.
And I'll talk to you about that offline. So.
Do we want to sort out, before we finish, do you want to sort out the advancement?
Oh yeah, right. So yeah, please go through your triggers.
If you survive the mission.
At the end of this mission, mark 1 XP, playbook or an attribute.
Yep.
So you get 1 if you survive the mission. So I'll use that to fill up my prowess.
Yeah. If you helped your squad through a key observation or key shots. I mean, I did spot the magic. It was just slightly too late.
Help the squad through medical knowledge, yeah. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma.
I mean, I used it a lot to survive.
I'd say possibly with the whole Mark of the Healing God stuff.
So it says at the bottom for me, per highest threat of opponent faced.
Yeah, like this.
Per highest threat of opponent faced. So at the end of each mission, mark 1 XP per highest threat of okay, so basically just the highest threat rating among the things that you faced, which is 3, the Cinder Guards. So 3 XP. Yay!
Ooh.
And are the XP going on this little flag next to special abilities?
You can put them there, or you can put them into your insight, prowess, or resolve. It's up to you.
Yeah. Cool. Cheers.
Yep.
Oh, I'm just 2 away from that sweet second ability.
Yep.
Tell you what I need to get, man. I need to get some of that fucking what's it called? The fucking alchemy one. Like the chemist. You've trained in alright alchemical medicine. You can equip an alchemical bandolier on each mission. That's like
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
That's like here is a list of combat drugs you can give to people, including rage venom.
Yeah, that's a wild one.
Can you check this out, man? You give someone rage venom, you get physical potency for a scene, but you've got to make a resolve check, or you just like go berserk and attack everybody.
Nice.
That sounds like the last desperate thing to me. Like, oh, we're in a bad situation, we're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's turning to Luther Ringo.
Yep. Good. So if everyone's XP is all sorted, yeah, we can call it the first successful step on the way to Skydagger Keep and beyond.
Just to check, I mean, I don't know whether this will be relevant, but do we know what squad these guys are from?
We can determine that.
Sweet.
The marshal.
Or,
I think
yeah,
the
maybe the
marshal.
marshal. Yeah, maybe the marshal determines that because.
I already have an idea where they're from. It's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll
If
find
I
out.
end up being the marshal.
We'll find out next time on the Scum of Blades.
Oh.